Yeah.
Maybe
And
maybe
since
because you're host, Eddie, or maybe it's on Trey's.
I think I've found the problem. If you look under security, chat is disabled for participants.
Yeah,
Try it now.
mine's the same.
Okay, I got it now.
Yeah, that's it.
There we are. There you go.
There we go.
Thank you, whoever did that.
I've got it now.
Thanks, Paul.
Well,
I
help
got
nobody
it.
else, I'll take credit, you know.
I thought it was Paul that did it. As soon as he came in, I suddenly had chat.
Yeah, I like you.
Or was that because you just got made a co-host? Because that would have bypassed that.
Well, that might be. I was just made a co-host and we're now recording. So
Yeah.
It's working for me now too.
Well, I'm glad
Yeah,
it's all solved.
On that security button at the bottom, there's one that says chat, and that wasn't ticked. So
thanks for whoever fixed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like it was Paul from UK it took to fix it.
Thank you, Paul.
Way to go east to get it done.
Did it.
Hello to 501-204-2706.
Oh,
Please
isn't
change
technical
the
support
name.
usually halfway around the world?
Yeah, put your name in there, please. You change your name and then we know who you are, so you're not anonymous.
Oh,
Why, Jeffrey? You
Maybe he's
don't want to be known?
undercover.
what's that?
Maybe he's undercover. You don't want anybody to know who he is.
In disguise.
That 2706 is Ray Worthley. I'm on my phone. I don't know how to change the name on that.
Ooh, I don't know.
What
Oh,
kind of
Ray,
phone?
we'll know it's you. All right, now we know it's you.
Well, good evening to you.
We just didn't want some mysterious Turner jumping in on us, you know?
I'm gonna rename him Ray Worthy. There
Go
we
to the
go.
bottom where it says participants and you click on it and you can change the number to your name.
Looks like you
Did
already.
somebody just do it?
Yeah, I've done it, Eddie.
Oh, all right. That Martin. Hey, Martin, how you making out, man?
I'm not so bad at you.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not allowed to go anywhere or do anything. So I'm here. I'm writing newsletters and all that stuff.
Yeah, we're all in that position.
Here and being in the workshop are the two best places to be in the world.
Yeah, they won't let me in there, but that's okay.
No, well, you're going to have to watch.
Yeah, I know. And hey, man, I'm getting a lot of stuff sent to me from members, photographs, tips, hints, all kinds of things. I've been working on newsletters and stuff to go today for a website. I got to tell you, if you haven't checked out our website, go, because it's awesome. It changes every single day. And I know for a fact that last week's program and last week's demo are both on the website and YouTube. So if you missed it and you're looking for it, that's where it's at.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
really
benefit
like
of-
being able to rewatch stuff. That's good. It's cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
it is.
important part.
Ronnie, I've just seen you move something. What would you move from one side of the room to the other side of the room that you're hiding? Have you been turning and not telling us? You've been turning and not telling us, haven't you, Ronnie? You've been turning. I saw whatever that was. You moved it and you're not showing us it, are you?
I'm
It
awake.
was a wig stand.
That's what you're talking about.
That's the one.
Is Kate in the house yet?
Kate is, he better be, because he was leaving my meeting and coming straight over to this one. So unless he's got lost in between, there's something wrong.
Somebody.
He's not in the house yet. Maybe he stopped for dinner.
Pull it back to you, Ronnie.
Looks
Pull it
like a
back to you.
paper towel rack.
You know, I turned one of those years ago.
There he is. There he is.
That's
There's
wig
Cade.
stands. I wanted to find out from Cade.
Hey, Katie's
Somebody else.
just come in, Ronnie.
Yeah, he's just come in.
Katie's just arrived in, Ronnie.
Oh, hey, Ronnie. Hey, Martin. Hey,
Cade, I
Matt.
got a question for you.
Sure, no problem.
What's the overall height on these things supposed to be?
Anywhere between 11 and 13 inches.
Okay, because evidently then this one's still too tall. This one is 16. Hey, down there.
Okay, that's okay. I
That'd be
mean,
for-
really, the cancer foundations and cancer societies I deal with, they request that size because it can fit on in their wig gallery and on their shelves, right? If we make them longer than that, they won't fit on the shelves. But I mean, with that size, it can still be used and needed because some people have long hair wig and they'll rather place that on their mantle or their dresser. So it still would be used.
You said 11 to 13?
Yeah, roughly 11 to 13 inches. That is the guidelines with the organizations I deal with because they have a gallery or a room where they house them and hold them with the wig stands. So the patients can walk in and pick sort of which ones they want. It's just easier for them to store them. But there is need for some of that height because some people have long hair wigs. And I mean, if they have it at home, they're going to have it on their dresser or their counter anyway.
Well, this is the second one I made. The first one I made, the person would have to be about 7 foot tall. It was 21 inches high. So I shortened it to 16, and now I'm going to shorten it again. I gave the first one I gave it to my daughter, and she took it to the hospital, and they really interested in it. So I'm gonna make up a whole bunch and then give them to her, you know.
Oh, that's great. They're really.
What I'm doing, I got a hold of some 8-quarter oak, and the top is I cut the 2 squares at 6 inches, and then turned it round. So that's somewhere around 5.5, 5 3/4. And the center, I turned a tenon on the top and the bottom for 1 inch. And I drilled a 1 inch hole in the top and a 1 inch hole in the bottom, 1 inch deep, and I made my tenons 3/4 of an inch long. And it fit real nice.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, that's great. That's good dimensions and good size.
I didn't know what to put down here, so I just put like a little code there. I don't know what people are putting there.
Yeah, some people do coves, beads, burn lines, pyrography, texture. I mean, you could do really anything. You don't want too much texture or embellishment on the dome because if it raises the grain or makes it sharp corners or catchy like a texturing tool might get, some of the wig or the hair or the netting of the wig will actually get caught within that texture and embellishment. So if you embellish anything, I'd embellish the base and not the top because it can sort of get caught in the.
Well, I put some grooves here just so when you go to grab it, you would have something to grab to, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've embellished the shafts and the stuff on top. I've embellished on top, but I made sure it was pyrography and then I sanded it back so it didn't have any corners that wig netting could catch on. And then it would ruin their wig.
And again, it's sanded to 800 and 1 coat of 3408 on it.
Sweet. That turned out great.
Yeah, buffed out and waxed out, you know, so.
Yeah.
I think they'll be able to use that. I just got to make a couple of dozen of them now.
Ronnie,
they'll love them.
Ronnie, I can bring over that Sorby spiraling tool, bring it over to you and let you play with that a little bit.
Well, if you bring it over, you're not going to get it back now.
Well, at least he's heads up and honest, you know?
Are you saying you're donating it?
No, I didn't say that. I'm going to play back the tape later on. I don't think I said that.
Didn't I hear Eddie said he was going to donate that?
Come on, get out of here.
He said he was bringing it over. He didn't say he wasn't taking it home.
That's right.
Hey guys, I got a problem I need some help with.
All right, what's that? Ronnie, you got a problem with Ronnie? That's okay.
Oh, Scott does.
What you got?
Can you guys see this? I don't know how good you can see this on the camera.
All right, I'm trying to get to, you got to keep talking.
There we
I
are.
don't know. Let's see. get the glare. Can you guys see that? On my
Yes.
phone?
Sort of.
Sort of.
Okay, I'm making a canteen. And the canteen is too thick for my cold draws pins. So how can I turn it around without gluing something to the finished side to do the other side?
A lot of people, there's a couple ways you can do it, Scott.
Yeah.
One way to do that is to put a very shallow recess in the opposite side and then fill it with a circular medallion when you're all done. Okay. Another way to do it is, do you have cold jaws?
Yes.
Okay. Another way to do it, several people have made extensions for their cold jaws. I made mine from MDF, but that's probably not the best thing. Probably ply would be better. But basically, you just make a little sort of an extension that you screw into your cold jaws that takes it out to like 12 or 15 inches. You just have to be real careful that you don't, because they're, you know, when you're out that far with the cold jaws, you could break stuff. So
my cold jaws are big enough in diameter, but the pins, the buttons are too short.
Have you purchased longer buttons?
I got 3/4 inch buttons in there now, and I need probably like 1.5 inch buttons.
They make larger ones. Another alternative is to make larger buttons yourself out of wood and you know, turn them with the right screw thing.
Okay.
And then maybe put foam around them or something. Also, I think
I got access to hard plastic so that I could drill a hole in the center and make my own buttons any length I want.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, nice.
That's what I'd
I
do.
also think that if you don't want to go to that trouble, I think that Don Doyle of Rubber Chucky is selling longer rubber buttons that go on cold jaws.
Okay, I'll take a look. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
You could also use
One alternative is to make a donut chuck, which is a ring of plywood.
Hey, Scott.
Attach it to a
Penn
faceplate
State
with
in this
plywood,
cruise has 1.5 inches.
Okay, I'll check out Penn State too.
Scott, what about double-sided tape?
Yeah, you could use double-sided tape. You could use an artificial piece of wood, like a plywood or a glue waste block. You could use hot melt glue. You could put router mat on there and turn a form that will hold like a friction fit and bring up your tailstock for a friction, like a pressure chuck or a pressure fit. As long as you have tailstock support, it's possible. Or you could use double-sided tape or hot melt glue and attach it to a sacrificial piece on a faceplate. Or you could actually glue it onto a faceplate, but you could also have a couple pieces of ply cut into almost C's or little U's and have it flare out, and you can screw that to the artificial plywood too, just for an added insurance premium around the neck of the canteen or somewhere where you're not turning specifically.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one side finished and it's like, okay, I got the sacrificial piece on the other side glued to it, and now I want to turn it around and take that off and finish the opposite side with the same crown to it. So
Just keep in mind, just keep in mind, every cut you make must be a slice. If you get a catch, you knock it off.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
Start flattening it out by pole cuts.
One of the guys in my club makes these canteens a lot, and he basically turns a recess in the opposite side to hold it, and he then turns a little off-color wood medallion that goes in there. Like say he's using white oak or something for the canteen, which would not be a good idea because it's porous, but he then will use a dark wood like walnut for the medallion to fill the recess when he's all done.
Yeah,
or a coin.
Or
Yeah,
a coin.
like
Yeah,
that
that's what
coin.
I was thinking too, is do a coin on both sides.
Yeah.
Yep.
I made one that was about 1.25 inches. You could make it any length. And I turned the inside on, I did it on my 3D printer, but you could take a dowel and drill a hole through the center so that you could hold the screw. And then on the outside, I went to Ace Hardware and got a 1 foot length of the clear Teflon hose. So that was my cushion that slipped over the thing. So if you found the size of hose that you wanted, a dowel that would fit inside, drill it, get new screws. They're probably going to be metric. So that's the way I did it. That's another way of doing it.
Okay. Thanks
Yeah,
for
I
the
think I
ideas,
can
because
do
I
it
was kind
too.
of at a loss.
Hey, Scott,
Yep.
how about, I don't know if this will work. If you took something like PVC pipe, that would, the inside diameter would be about the outside diameter of your bumpers, and cut them a little bit longer, slip them over the bumpers, and then tighten up on it. That might hold it.
Now that's an
Ronnie, I tried that one time and I found a PVC pipe that would fit just barely on the bumper. So I go in about 1/4 inch on the bumper. That way, when I tighten it down, when I tighten it up, the bumper still swole up a little bit, but it didn't slip down to PVC.
Right.
And it worked. I probably still have it out there. I did it to make bracelets and to space them off the back part so I could do the finishing.
You understand what we're saying, Scott?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
And I
that's
have
a good
access to
idea.
all kinds of different size PVC pipe. That's not a problem.
There you go.
You know, we today I was writing the newsletter and I was putting in something about future programs, and amazingly so, and it's there. I put in that we have to do a program on holding work. Just like Scott had a problem, the rest of us always have that little thought in the back of our mind: how do I hold this? And remember, if you can hold it, you can turn it. I don't care what it is. You can hold it, you can turn it. So we may have to get a couple of demonstrations together for that. It'd be nifty because novice turners, even seasoned turners, get confused about what to do to hold the piece and get it in shape. So we'll put that on the can do, will do, looking for list. Tonight we're going to get, it's only 26 after the hour and we're just chatting, but tonight we're going to have a great demonstration by Trey. It's something to make you wonder about. That's all. It's taken him today to set it up, so he has to change his cameras around. So we're looking at different things. I like his idea. I think it'll work. I wonder why I haven't done it, but I've done something similar with the JT Toolworks tools. Oh, JT closed because they lost Bill, and they closed their business. And their website said we're moving it someplace else. Do you know where they moved it or who's got their parts? We have a couple of members that are looking to get parts for the JT tools. I've got the vacuum chuck thing and I've lost that little nipple that goes in. Oh, it's in the shop. I just got to find it. But there maybe JT has transferred some of their goods to somebody else to do some retail sales. You got it. Share it. That's what we're looking for.
Hey, good evening. Could I ask a question quickly?
No, never.
Only long questions. I was driving, I'm in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I was driving down the road and I was cutting down a tree. I stopped. The man said the tree, he wasn't really specific and sure, but he said it was cottonwood. And he said, take what you want. And I took a bunch and it's got to dry out, of course, and it'll be a while till I get to it. My question is, what experience has anyone had with cottonwood? Is it, it looks beautiful as you look at the cut. The centering has got some beautiful dark wood surrounded by light wood. I'm totally unfamiliar with it. I've never turned it. What do y'all think? Is it going to be good for me?
My cottonwood was very soft and stringy. I did not see a different color wood between light and dark between centers. It looked all the same color all the way through. It was soft and stringy, so use sharp tools and you know, shearing cuts. It carved and burned well. I got a few pieces sitting around here somewhere. I'll maybe show them later. But I did some I did some Celtic knotwork carving and some. I don't know if you guys saw the vase I showed. I don't know, a couple weeks ago, that had pyrography on one side and a carved Celtic knot in the bottom. That's all cottonwood. So it took color well too. It was, so if you want to use stain or dyes, that works, but it's real soft. So it'll, you know, you know, the lightest cut will just go right through it like butter. So
What
shortcuts.
what you're describing doesn't sound like the wood that I picked up. So he could have been mistaken, or it could have been some form of what the people here call cottonwood, but it definitely.
What state are you in?
What color is it?
Colorado, city of Colorado Springs.
I'm not sure what wood
you have
that
a piece
is,
of
but
wood?
I'm just up the road from you.
Do you have the piece
I've
of wood?
turned
Because if you could
cottonwood.
show it.
Cottonwood and willow are similar. They're very soft and stringy, almost like a caramelly brown color, but it's pretty much caramelly brown throughout. Like Matt said, it doesn't have a distinction between the heart and sapwood.
This has that caramely brown, round center.
Maybe it's elm or something. Do you got the piece of wood to show us, Van?
I don't have it here. I've just moved into a new home. I'm still in my old home. When I get all set up again, I could bring a piece and show it straight on to let anybody see.
And if you're able to, if you can get a picture of another tree of that sort, if there's any in the area with the leaves still on it or something, that makes it a lot easier to identify.
Yeah, no leaves.
There's no leaves right now.
Yeah, this time of year we got snow out on the ground. Well, thank you. I will check it out when I get it dry and when I'm ready to go with it. And I can take a picture maybe, or just take a small piece of the wood and hold it right here. I think we could.
Hey, Van?
Oh, yeah.
You do know you're gonna have to send us all a piece of that wood so we can try it now.
Well, as wet as it is, as much as it weighs, it'd probably be $20 just to ship it to another state.
You got to turn at least one of them green, because green wood is so much fun to turn. Get those big long ribbons coming off.
I will do
If
that.
you got some extras, I'm just up the road from you.
Yeah.
Who's that?
I'm in Monument.
Oh,
Jason. Yeah,
Who's
I'm just up in Monument.
Jason?
Even if you take a picture, do you have a cell phone and Google it? Take a picture. You could probably show us the screenshot and we could tell you what sort of wood it is.
All of the cottonwoods that I'm pulling up that are from Colorado are very light wood. There is no dark caramelization in them. So maybe Google just like even the black cottonwood is the closest to caramel, which is more of like a very light toasted color. It looks more
It's
like
not
a light
spalted,
oak.
is it?
Yeah,
no, it's not spalted. They were just trimming out, cutting down this tree, and it sounds to me like he was either mistaken or he just.
The bark on it, the bark on it is very like long, very, very textured ripples. I would say water sideways is the best way I can explain it.
It has two different textures. The newer wood is very fine. The older wood it's not really distinguishable between another tree. There's nothing extremely unique about it.
Yeah, this one, it looks like most of the cottonwood trees there in Colorado have some pretty unique looking bark to me, because all I see is oak around here and I can't tell the difference because they all look like oak bark, but they look very different. So
the cottonwood I'm familiar with, the bark looks a lot like elm.
Yeah, I think that's
bark
what
does.
this looks like.
Yeah,
Eddie?
or locust or mulberry. They all look a lot alike.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eddie, I'm just about to drop a link, if I can drop a link into the there's a link in the chat there. This is a database that I go to regularly, and I've learned an awful lot over the years about the different timbers. They have a page on there that you can almost put a description of the piece of timber that you've got, and it will start to narrow it down. And once you've narrowed it down and you've worked out what you've actually got a hold of, it will start to tell you what the species is and where in the world it comes from. And there's a massive amount of information on that website that's free and available for everybody to use. But yet, there's many of the guys that I speak to have never come across this, but it's the wood database. I've dropped the link in the chat there. Eddie, Dave, I've put it onto my Wood Turning Zoom website as an information kind of thing. Maybe if you want to put it onto yours and try and get it out there, take a look at the website, see what you think. But the guy who's asking about the timber there, he can probably narrow it down and start looking at the areas which might give him the area where it comes from, and he might have more of a chance in being able to recognize the timber that he's using.
Thank you. I've copied that down for my future reference. I will take 2 small pieces. I don't know if it'll be next week. We're still getting the internet hooked up in our new home and connected. But I will bring a couple of pieces to let you see the inside and the wood. I appreciate the information, everyone. Thank you.
Can I jump in here? I've been turning tons of cottonwood here in Wyoming, and it'd be the same as Colorado cottonwood. Here's a bowl I just finished of Wyoming cottonwood. So is that what you're looking at?
That's pretty. Yeah, that looks like the cottonwood I've turned in Arizona.
So the same thing. So
that's pretty.
I know most tree cutters hate that, the cottonwood trees.
Yeah, that looks like the cottonwood I've turned too. It's like a very light caramel, light toasted color, like Kim said.
The outside again was as light as that wood, but the center, which was most of the wood, was a very medium to dark caramel color. So
okay, might be elm then.
I also collected some elm from another one where he was cutting it down, and Captain Eddie said, paint up the edges and save it because it's good, and I did. This doesn't look to me like the same thing though. Unless it's a different variety of it.
Elm will definitely smell different. Like if one's elm and one's not, you'll know the difference by the smell when you're turning them.
Yeah, it'll smell like a cow barn.
Is there any chance of catalpa? Do you have catalpa trees in Colorado?
I never heard that kind of a tree. I'm not from Colorado. I am originally from the West, from Southern Utah, but lived the last 35 years in Las Vegas, then moved to North Carolina for 6 years. Now I'm in Colorado. So I've bounced around, but I don't know that much about the trees in Colorado.
And here in Wisconsin, we have catalpa trees, and they're kind of a medium brown, almost like a butternut brown in the middle.
Yeah, with golden green, like shimmers, golden green shimmers. And the sapwood is white.
Cool. I got a lot of
beautiful
out of catalpa. Yeah.
Yeah.
The link I posted to the USDA.gov site for identifying plants and trees, that's got ranges. So once you're in, you can check to see if the range on something fits your area. If you guys, this piece here I've got here, I don't know, let me see if I can highlight this. This is cottonwood.
Wow.
It's been dyed and carved.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know, but it's a real sort of, I mean, it has a distinctive smell, but it's white. I don't know if you can see the inside of it. It's kind of white.
Yes. Uh-huh. Well, when I put the wood in my car, the following day when I went back out to unload it, there was an aroma in my car. It wasn't really, really strong, but it wasn't a beautiful cedar smell or a redwood smell. So thank you for the information. I'll get with Jason. He lives right by me. And maybe, Jason, we can get together and tell me. Thank you.
Somebody's getting a phone call.
Ouch. Is that you, Doug? Dang.
That wasn't me.
Hey, Eddie, this is Trace. I'd like to show one thing real quick. And before we even get to demo, because you asked the question whether I can do something with a finial. So I want to show that real quick.
Okay, that's you. You know, all right, you're on a spotlight right now. Go ahead.
Okay, that's a finial that I just turned.
No.
And I'm gonna switch it to my other camera. It's my other camera. I don't know what that's
interesting.
Are you taking us on a trip?
I know what it's doing.
Demo
mode. It's like a bad Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
Okay, you can see it now though, all right?
Well, this
Okay.
reminds me of my drinking days.
We see the overlay also.
Okay, I got rid of that, but you can see an outline on this a little bit.
Oh, I
Okay.
see. Okay.
That's what I'm gonna demonstrate, but I'm gonna demonstrate it on a ball. But I just turned it on a finial. I was afraid to get as thin as it could, because if you look at the finial I just turned, it's pretty small already. And this is just a piece of standard maple, so it wasn't the right wood. But anyhow, y'all go back to where you were, and I'll set up for being able to turn the sphere.
That's nice. That's nice. You worked on that all day, huh?
I worked
That is
on it.
gorgeous work.
I worked on it starting about 15 minutes ago.
Oh man, make me feel bad.
You guys want to see an update on my shop before we get too far into the meeting?
I guess we will.
Let me
Do we have a
spotlight.
choice? Do we have a choice, Doug?
No, because I feel like Greg. Hold on, I gotta figure out how to turn me around again. There. So it's got walls now, and it's got a roof. But I'm gonna climb this ladder and show you guys what was confusing the heck out of me. I was like, how are they gonna tie the new roof into the old roof? And now it's finally coming together. But so there it is. So apparently that's all going to get wrapped around there, because I was like, I mean, I'm not an expert on rain drainage, but that didn't look like it was going to work. But now I see how that's all coming together. So that's
I wondered about that also.
What's that?
I wondered about that also when I saw the first bit of construction.
Yeah. So I originally thought the new roof was just going to be taller than the old roof, and the watershed would go that way. But then I'll go in here and show you the inside. They still haven't framed out the bathroom yet, so that's the only interior framing that's still got to go. But now it's got a full lid.
I know at least 3 people that have just put urinals or bathrooms or something in their shop. That sounds like the way to go.
So where's the bedroom?
So let's see. I'm thinking I'll set a cot up right about here.
Well, the missus
That
is
way
mad.
she'll just open this window and pour cold water on me or something. But,
Does that go through to the kitchen?
that's the window into my existing workshop.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you could just have a drive-through.
Yeah, so that the existing workshop connects to my kitchen, or well, yeah, kind of the dining room, kitchen area, whatever you want to call it. And then there's my new windows, and the new door got delivered. And I decided to upgrade the insulation. So instead of just putting the Pink Panther fiberglass stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the full-on spray foam insulation. Has anybody used that yet? Because I've never used it, but everything sounds like it's going to be a lot better. Or
If you have
maybe
a
I'm
good-
paint a bunch.
If you have a good mechanic putting it in and he knows how to fill it to puff up, that's fine. If it puffs out, it's easy to trim off the next day.
Hey, Doug, make sure you have all your electrical and your pipes in where you want them, because otherwise when they spray them, they'll spray right over top of it.
Yeah. That's all scheduled to be done. And actually, my son works for the foam company that's going to spray it. So if it's wrong, it'll just come out of his inheritance.
How cold does it get where you live?
And then, so here was one other change that I made. I was originally going to throw all my shop air inside the wall too, and just cover it and have it look cleaner. But then I decided, I might want to move the shop air around a little bit. So I am going to wait until all the drywall's in and then run the shop air around it. What do you guys think? Put it inside the wall or outside the wall?
Outside the wall. You will change around. You will change things around. So you're exactly right on your thinking on that.
Okay.
Make sure you have plenty of plugins.
I am. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is all my plugins, instead of having them down by the floor, I'm going to put them all at about, 36 inches up or whatever. So not having to.
I was going to say I go above 36.
Yeah. Whatever the
normal countertop is 36 inches.
Okay. So yeah, a little bit taller than that then.
Yeah, I made them basically chest high on me so I could reach everything very easily.
Okay.
Every
You
2
can
foot.
You could, yeah, and you can put a table below it or whatever, and you've got access to everything.
All right.
I think you
And
forgot.
I'll show you where they tied in the front. I thought it looks pretty good. I think it's coming along. But,
Matt's right. You
right
should
out
get
here.
them up 4 feet or just a few inches higher. So if you lean plywood up against the wall, the narrow way, it's above it.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
idea.
that's a good idea, yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. That's it. It's getting there.
Well,
There's the
before
big
you-
pile of mess. And
Before you run your shop air, get with me. I found out some information online and everything before I ran mine. And there's some important things you can do to help keep rid of, well, you probably don't have a moisture problem there, but help control moisture and everything else in the air.
so I do, because of where I live in Arizona. It's not dry. You know,
Okay.
we get all 4 seasons up here.
Before you do it, get hold of me and I'll show you, and I'll tell you and show you what I've done with running the pipe, because by the way you run the pipe and the type of piping you use and everything else, you can control the humidity just in the pipe itself and not blow it out through your airlines.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. And did you use the PEX? Because that's what I was planning on using.
No, I did not. I used a copper.
Copper, okay.
I use copper's not that expensive, copper tubing.
Yeah.
It goes together pretty easy, and that's what I ran. And part of the reason for using metal is you want the air to cool down in your pipe while it's running. So you want to drop the air temperature. You're coming out of your compressor, it's hot. When you drop the air temperature, you drop condensation out.
Okay.
And you want to drop out in the pipe and blow it out before you and take out before it goes into the hose.
Okay.
And I'll show you how to do it. You do it by basically letting it blow past it and then coming up and pick up past it. But it's a pretty simple installation, but it works. It's worked great for me.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely hit you up. I'm probably about, I don't know, a little more than a month away from being at that point.
Okay.
Hey, Doug, I got a question for you.
I'll make something up. I used to be a recruiter.
On the bottom of your lathe, can you roll your lathe around right now?
No, not at all.
Okay, let me make a suggestion to you. You're getting ready to move that lathe into your new shop.
Well, I was going to have the wife do it. She's got a stronger back than me.
There's something that they call lift, lock, and roll that you bolt on to your lathe, and I have it, and it works great. One person can roll that lathe around like it's nothing.
And did you get it from Powermatic, or where'd you get it at?
It's called lift, lock, and roll. I think I got it from a Powermatic dealer.
Okay.
Okay, but if you can't find it, let me know and I'll help you out finding it. But I would see what happens is when you get it to where you want, you lift up on it and it sets back down on the feet that you have right there. And when you want to roll it, you step on the 2 handles and it lifts the lathe up and you roll it around when you want to clean and everything else.
That sounds like a good idea. I appreciate that.
Hey, Ronnie, if you find a link for that, throw it on our chat one night.
Lift, lock, and roll.
Yeah, that's what I have.
All right. Hey, Kim, can you find that and throw it on the chat for us tonight? All right. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it.
Hey,
With
Doug,
that-
do you have Princess Auto down there? You could go to there and get some hard plastic or hard rubber trailer tires. And you can fasten them to the bottom of the lathe too, and you can wheel it right around quite easily.
Cade, you got your video turned off because we see the picture.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, it was all right with me.
Yeah, the wife was just giving me a kiss goodnight, so I figured you wouldn't want to see that, but
Hey,
I never get tired of seeing your face. I mean, don't put hers in the way, but as long as we get to see you.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, man, he was a recruiter. Boy.
But yeah, Princess
must
Auto,
have
they
been.
have a wide range of all kinds of sizes of different tires for trailers, and kids make go-karts, and they have hard plastic ones, hard rubber ones. And I mean, you can fix and fasten those to the bottom of the lathe too, and they'll move quite easily.
I did a demonstration for a club up in the Northeast a couple of years ago, and they had theirs on fixed rollers, and they couldn't adjust the height. It was rough. I mean, the vibration that would develop and all.
Yeah,
Automatic
Walking across the
spiraling.
floor with the lathe. Hey,
Pardon
Eddie,
me?
you'd be walking across the floor as the lathe shakes, rattles, and rolls as you're turning.
Yeah, well, that's my buddy Brian that has that. He has a jet with the open steel legs, not the frame. And he used to call it Clementine because when I turned something, it'd go dancing with Clementine. It just, you know, he kept asking me to bring more rebar over so he could weight it down.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's the good thing. Lock and roll there because it sits down on its original feet and gets off the rollers.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because you can't leave them up on the rollers because it's too aggravating.
No, you would pry it up, fix the tires, and then roll it wherever you need. Pry it up, take the tires off, and then it's put back in place.
Well,
I built one.
Or you can get the ones that latch and lower, like you kick them up and they're on the wheels, or you kick them down and they're back sitting flush, like Johnny said too.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Lift, lock, and roll.
Oh,
I made one for our club because they wouldn't buy the lift, rock, and roll stuff. And I made one with a series of angles, but you have to pick the lathe up and set it in there. So I made a Johnny bar that you just push down on, and I could do it all by myself. Push down on a Johnny bar, pick up the lathe, put the legs under it, and go and roll it up into the trailer.
Yep.
I think they disappeared, and they just handle it by hand now.
You used to be able to do that when you were young.
Pardon?
That you used to be able to do that when you were young.
All I do is got to put
things
dead
when we
weight
were
on.
younger.
Get this, Ronnie. All it takes is dead weight. I am dead weight.
We used to do a lot of things when we were younger, and we lived through them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, for sure. Live and learn.
Hey, is Amy
We did a
joined us
lot of
yet?
those things. We did a lot of those things before the internet, so there's no proof.
That never happened.
No cameras. You say you got a camera? Everybody's got a camera.
Thank God. Thank God for that. I would have been in a lot of trouble. I probably wouldn't be alive right now. My dad would have killed me.
Right? We all would be.
It would be that way. Is Brenda with us tonight? See, Brenda put up some stuff this week on the internet. For all you members, I got to tell you, there is no click. What you're listening to now is a bunch of guys sitting on the back of a pickup truck and gals.
I was gonna say some of us are ladies.
Yeah. I understand.
Kim's just one of the guys.
Yeah, Doug, some of us dress like I am just one of the guys. Ask Billy.
Yeah, Billy knows. Billy knows. All right. There is no clique or hierarchy. There's no gang. There's nothing like you got to report to a boss. You're the boss. That's why we built this. We built this club for wood turners. We don't charge you dues. We don't sell a magazine. In fact, our newsletter's free. We don't have hats, gloves, anything. We got a secret handshake, but I can't show it to you right now. But we're just here for wood turning. So if you hear something we're talking about and you want to interject, go ahead. Even when we had the program at 7 o'clock, we go all mute, so you got to push your space bar or some other key to get in. But that's what we do here. Tonight, Paul Hannaby in the UK, that's right, way over there across the road, he's handling our gallery. And if you have something to show, you type into the chat, I've got something to show in gallery. And Paul will pull it up and we'll show the work that you've done. And that's what we want to see. There's no judging, no critique. We have a no but guarantee. We can't say, I like that but. Not permitted. I'll cut you off. There's no but guarantee. It's just we want to see your art and how you do it. And technique is very important to us. Now, last week, we had one of our members, like you, asking a question about a certain technique. And somebody made a comment, and it was obscene, about his idea or his question. You know what? You can have all the comments you want. Leave it mute. Because if you can't be positive, you can't be here. The rule is it's all wood turning, it's all kind, and absolutely positively no profanity. This is a family program. We want to welcome you and your family and all your turning friends. I'm going to get on this rant for a minute. If you haven't asked all your turning buddies to join, ask them to join. I get calls every week from people to say, what do I have to do? I got a note today from Amy. She said, I've been wanting to join, but I don't know how. So it's go to the website, click on a button and join us. That's all it is. There's no fees, no commitments, no guarantees. If you ask to give a credit card, put Ronnie's name on it. That's all. But we are trying to develop this thing. We had a limit at 100 members. And for the last couple of weeks, we've had 115, 120, something like that. The numbers aren't important to me in numbers. The information is important to me. Every single week, I go away with a notebook of notes and things I have to check on. Hey, you can't read it, I can't read it. But it's what I do. I'll start a new page tonight and take notes. And as we go along, those are notes for us to develop and notes for me to develop. And we welcome everybody to do that. We are still supporting Freedom Pens, and that's where you, the wood turner, you turn a pen and you send it to Doug Rowe. He's our Army or our military contact. And Doug will put that pen in the hands of a U.S. troop, the people defending our country, defending our way of life, and preserving America. Don't think it's a chooky job. It's a job. It's a task. And these people do it for a lot less money than most of us have ever made. So if you want to be involved in Freedom Pens,
We lost your video, Eddie.
Yeah, you went on
your
mute.
audio. We lost your audio.
yeah, somebody, one of the co-hosts muted everybody. And that's me. So if you send us a pen, we're happy. We're making it our project this month. Every month we're trying to develop a new challenge. And that challenge is to develop your skills and see what you can do. Playing around about 5 or 6 months ago, Ronnie Burnett, my cohort, he turned stuff out of a 2x4. And we all joked about the 2x4. Well, we have a 2x4 club. Yes, and it's on our website, all the people that entered the club. Nothing special. Grab a piece of lumber and turn it. And boy, you're going to like it. And then we want to see what you do. Do you know why we do that? Basically, it's a soft needle wood, soft wood. It's got needles. And it's got a funny grain configuration. It depends on the type and the size and the age. But that grain configuration, the highs and the lows are very tender. You better know how to cut. You better know how to scrape. If you don't, it's going to look pretty rough. It's going to look like a 2x4. But we want everybody to turn them. If you got one, put it in there, and we'll show it off. What do we have here? Matt Harbour says the tall grippers of chuck drawers are made by a DAW club member, and he put the link. I mean, this link is like 4 miles long.
Yeah, I don't know why it came out so long. Sorry, Eddie.
No, no, don't be sorry, man. It looks important. But if you want to tall grippers, and folks, this is open. If you have a technique that you use, I'd like to go in my shop and get my one with the PVC on it, because I grooved it to hold the bracelets, and it worked out great because you got to do bracelets. Anyway, by the way, the inside of a bracelet, the ring, is 2 3/8 of an inch. When you make one, go 2 3/8 of an inch. Not with a drill bit. You got to cut it. Okay. We always do safety, and Jeff is with us tonight, and we're going to do a little safety program. Jeff, are you up?
Yep, I'm here.
All right.
Hey, before Jeff gets started, we need to check on a safety thing for him. Jeff, you got a fire extinguisher in your house?
Yep, up and down.
All right. 'Cause I
In
saw
the
it was your
garage also, I
birthday,
can
and
put out there.
I'm thinking all those candles on that birthday cake, that might be a bonfire in your house.
No, I think we're okay right now with it.
Yeah, just have to worry about my hair burning, right?
Yeah. I don't know why I don't hit you up, Jeff. I'm going to spotlight you now.
When's your birthday? Did it pass or today or?
No. Well, yeah, pass them in June. I'm a June boy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hasn't come yet. Same here.
I'll be 61 this year. Yeah.
I thought I saw your Facebook
All right.
thing had your birthday. You got a fake birthday on there?
No.
Maybe
June
I was
16th,
scrolling past
so.
somebody else and I thought it was you. I didn't have my glasses on, I guess.
Yeah, we all the same. Okay, good evening, everybody. Of course, everybody be safe here. Where I safety at all, even when the lane is running, turn it on or off. If you have somebody who's just doing like some markers, a little bit of painting with the lathe going real slow, please wear your safety glasses. Things can fly off. Also, I'm going to talk about little like cybersecurity safety. A lot of scams going out there. I get constantly people ask me because I know computers. Should I click on this? Don't click on it. You get a PayPal message. Go to your PayPal account directly. Don't click on something. A lot of these places don't email you about a problem. Also, maintenance. We've talked about maintenance. You hear noises, stuff. Don't ignore it because it can get worse. You can get hurt. If you go through to clean something up, oil it. Remember that owner's manual that's inside that plastic envelope that none of us guys ever open up. They probably have some good maintenance tips in there about how to oil stuff, how to keep things working. So check it out before something breaks. And like I said, make a noise. Hopefully you can stop it before it gets worse, and then you'd be down for maybe a couple weeks or a month. That's it. Everybody be safe out there.
No. We have a photograph of you at work. And
okay.
I have to show
I sent him
this.
something here. So
This is Doug changing light bulbs at the house. I think that's a little risky.
That might be me.
Throw into that picture.
That's great.
Man, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
As long as you maintain 3 points of contact, you're fine. And the paintbrush is 1 point of contact.
There you go.
I didn't
That's a
believe
lot
that.
better than an extension pole, so.
Yeah, the one I saw was it's like a 25, 30-foot A-frame ladder on top of those orange buckets. But the thing was, they put a piece of, there it is. They put plywood underneath the legs, so kind of gave the support around. I thought that was a good idea. Definitely not safe, but they thought about it. Thank you, everybody.
I used to work for
Like that?
contractors, would have thought that was a really good deal to do. I don't work there anymore. Okay, folks, we're talking tonight about wood turning, of course. And if Trey is ready, we have a demo. Trey?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Tres Lennep is in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. It's him and John and him and Duffy hold that. I'm sorry. Him and Johnny hold that place down. So go ahead.
Let me add a little fire safety thing that I just added. When I went out to Australia a couple of years ago and visited my sister, and everybody out there had fire blankets in the kitchen. It's the fireproof blanket to put a fire out. I have since then bought some and have some in my kitchen too, in addition to fire extinguisher. So it's basically a blanket you throw on top of over your burning grease or whatever on the stove, puts the fire out.
Take away the oxygen, take away the fire.
Yep. So, and you don't have to check to make sure that's still in date.
I got a brand new fire extinguisher out there 20 years ago.
When I was on Lucid Wood Turning last week, I guess last Sunday, they were talking about doing stuff digitally, and they were looking at the inside of the hollowing and that kind of stuff with the normal hollowing rig stuff. And they also talked about putting a digital picture on top of your computer screen and watching it and doing some of that. Well, I got a brilliant idea. Why don't I just do that and use plastic? So I'm gonna turn a sphere tonight. And what I did is I took a piece of plastic, I drew a line through the center for alignment and drew a round circle with a marker. So I'm gonna show you how it works. And it's really a sweet deal. So let's switch over. And okay, that's the sphere that I just turned. But what we're gonna do is I'll pull this off and I'll walk all the way through the process of doing it. Let me find the center of this. And I know everybody knows exactly what this is, right? Makes a great center punch.
Yeah, I know what those are. I use them at work.
Use them at work?
Yeah, we use them for driving into the blacktop and use them for control points.
No, it's a gear for a cotton. It's gear for a cotton gear. Yeah, and it's hardened steel, so it makes a fabulous punch.
Works really good for driving into blacktop too.
Okay.
What
Okay.
kind of
So
gear was it?
it's one of the biting teeth for a cotton gin. Okay, what I'm gonna do is just round this off right now.
We all have a cotton gin laying around the yard.
Oh, let me switch you back to a better view.
All my gin store bought. I don't make my own from cotton.
You can go to a survey warehouse that sells survey equipment and they'll sell them to you. They're cheap.
Okay. I now have so it's turned round. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check the size. And you can't see that, so let me flip to a different camera. Okay, see if this camera's gonna. What's?
Yeah, Woodstock.
I don't know what it's doing.
Can we play some Pink Floyd in the background? Or
I ain't seen that since the late 70s.
I don't know.
Is that camera in demo mode, maybe?
Whoa.
No,
That's a scan
no.
error. That's a scan error. It's not syncing up with the computer correctly.
It's trying to, okay, I'm looking at it on the camera, it looks good. I punch the button, it's doing the other.
It must be the software. Tell me this, what software are you using to integrate the cameras?
Let this off and back on.
I was going to suggest resetting it within the software.
Yeah, that sometimes works.
Yep.
With flickering and flashing and whatnot.
Okay. Usually the camera just stalls, but who knows?
Okay, just for information, I was shipping out or mailing out logos, our Worldwide Woodturners logo that we had made up. I only have 20 left. That's what the boss tells me. And how do you get them? They're expensive. You have to send me a note by email to my email address. That's Captain, C-A-P-N, Eddie Castellan @gmail.com. If you send me a note there, I will type out the address and we'll mail it. Because of you, our members, we have these available. Somebody helped me pay for them. Somebody sent the money for the postage. We provided the envelopes. It's all a team effort. So if you'd like to have one, it says .com. Peel that .com off because we're .org. And I'm going to make a new deal for more cutters, more labels real soon. And I'll have the address properly done. I just had the back window of my Honda CRV blown out by a rock on the street. And the only piece that stayed in was behind that decal. So see, it had purpose. David J says his name is not in the chat. How come? David, I don't think you can send yourself a chat. The chat really believes you know what you're talking about. Okay, we're waiting for
No,
Trey to get
no,
back.
the thing is, when they're down below there where you have everyone, you have a list of names there to send a message to. My name is not in there.
Yeah, it won't be because you can't send a message to yourself.
You can't. That's what you're saying. You can't. They.
No,
You
I
know what
didn't.
you're saying.
I didn't say that. I said, yeah, you have a list there, but is my name on your list?
It will be, yes. It'll be on everybody else's list except yours.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Your name will always be at the top anyway.
Yeah, but mine always comes up. It says me. I don't know why.
It will do, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're on my list.
Yeah, everybody else will see your name though.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
see it.
All right.
Yeah, yours says David J. in Michigan.
Right.
Everybody send a note to David J. Michigan.
I already did because David J said he's mailing me some pens. Thanks, David J.
Is Trey back yet?
Great.
He's getting lined up. I see. Oh, I see. He's getting in. He's working on this.
I can put him on Spotlight.
There he is now.
There we are.
Let me mention that the co-host.
You're muted, Trey. You're muted, Trey.
Muted.
Okay, I got to mention that the co-host thing.
I got it.
All right, the co-host thing we talk about. That's people that get involved in your club, and it's not restricted. You can be a member just like anybody else. And once you start working with us and helping us out on things and have a contribution to the club, which we really look for, we'll plug you in there. Like Paul is handling our gallery. Doug handles some stuff out there for the military. We have a handful of guys that do this, and they all get paid really well. All right, Trey, it's back to you. Circle and all.
Okay, I seem to have it up and running now. Now I've turned the just a cylinder, and what I've done is I've zoomed in. I put the pattern on it, and I've set my zoom so that I know that I can get the block out of the piece of wood. Now the sphere that I turn out of here is going to be, and I'll keep this for the. It looks like 45 millimeters. Or I guess in inches, or whatever.
Okay, if our American folks talk about inches.
Oh, okay. It is going to be 1 and what's
3/4.
4
no,
little
it's a little
dots.
less than 3/4. But so how many 30 seconds is that?
A lot of My
That's
tape
the reason why
measure
I
only
use-
goes 16.
Just say the number with confidence, Trey. People will believe you. That right there is 1 inch and 30 seconds.
That sounds perfect.
There
That
you
sounds
go.
perfect. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line this template to it. And I got a point there and a point there. And I'm aligning.
Oh, okay. So that
Okay.
image is over top
Now,
of your.
now it's over the top of my computer, or I mean, top of my TV, and I've aligned that center line to my drive center and my tailstock. That way I'm not cutting an oblong elliptical shape. I'm gonna cut a sphere. Then I put the block of wood back in. And I have a pattern to cut to.
Mhm.
I'm just using a roughing gouge right now to get the bulk out of here.
If you think the screen before would drive people crazy, think about a new member turning in on this.
This is one of those systems that you would use for hollowing, right?
JT Tools used to make one.
Yeah.
I got 2 or 3 versions of it that were really handy.
Yeah, Eric Lundstrom does too.
This looks like a great way to get this here. I like this a lot.
Yeah,
Guys
it's pretty
with one
handy.
uses.
A lot easier and less setup than the paper and lights that Theo did.
Now I just grabbed my bowl gouge And I'm lining up and I make the cut. That's the direction I cut in, following that. That's what I'm gonna cut. So I'm gonna line that up along the ball as I'm cutting, and I'm watching the TV as I make the cut. And I'm actually I'm only removing about a 32nd of an inch at a time right now.
Unlike the ball jigs, this is doing a slice. I wish Dane was with us tonight, because after a couple of beers, Dane would figure this out.
And now I gotta get a TV and a camera.
Yeah. And figuring out how to get that TV closer.
The camera's no problem. They make USB cameras feed into some of the TVs, and they're really inexpensive. Which means if you get a blow off and it takes the camera out, you get another one. Kate, I think I'm with you, man. This is so cool. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty handy, pretty neat.
That'd be awesome.
It really is. And
bunch
small
of the
monitors
same
like
thing.
that don't cost much either.
Yeah, I'm loving
No.
No, I mean, a 28-inch monitor at Walmart is under $100. I think it's
Well, that's
closer
the
to 80.
problem. That's too big. You need the smaller one so you can get mount it next to your TV and get used to it.
That makes it look so easy. It feels like you're cheating.
I am. I'm cheating. Now I'm gonna go back and clean it up.
Rather than a TV monitor or anything, you could use a tablet or a iPad or a Huawei, like a tablet screen would be perfect.
Yeah, you can drive your iPhone to your iPad.
Yep, yep.
Well, if you were like doing stuff for production, that'd be awesome too. You just set your template right on there. Get it perfect every time.
Trey and I were talking, think about spindle work.
Yeah,
You have to duplicate spindles.
Yeah, be able to match all 4 table legs almost exact.
That's a rough turn spear that's probably down to maybe a couple, 10 thousandths or so off or closer, 5 or 10 thousandths. And you can tell when you look at it, if you look at the top and bottom, if that distance is the same distance off, that means this is dead center and that ball is perfectly round. Yeah. If it was off and this was moved over to the side, I would be cutting more on one side and I would wind up with an oblong ball instead of actually a sphere.
That's cool.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah, that 6-ear sucks on a rooster, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I took all of 5 minutes.
I'm sorry it took that long.
Well, I tell you, y'all talk about driving your iPhones. I've got an Android and it doesn't have a steering wheel, so I can't drive it to a tablet.
Okay.
Well, if you have an Android tablet, you can pair an Android phone to it.
But I don't have a steering wheel in my phone.
Need a driver app.
There's an app for that somewhere.
Over.
There's an app for that.
Okay, that's a chess piece, and a very complex piece with the with the sets in and everything else, and a piece of pine.
Oh, 2x4 club.
It's a piece of 2x4. I broke about 4 or 5 of them because at this point it's very, very small.
That's great.
But anyhow, it allowed me to do that. And you can continue to take this. You can take this and duplicate this because I can measure that. And that is 66 millimeters. So when I come put this on the up here,
2.5 inch roughly.
I'm sorry, I use metric on that stuff just because it's easier to do that than it is to do the fractions.
Yeah.
Boy, is it.
Me too.
America.
when I put that up there and start measuring it, and I said 60, this was, I'm sorry, I measured to the wrong point. It is 55. So I can come in here, get up here on my camera. See if I can do it slowly. Okay, now I'm at 55 millimeters. So when I turn and put this and do another one, it'll be the exact same height and everything will be the same. I just duplicated it. And it'll be the same size. You understand?
Oh, yeah.
And the neat thing on this sphere, it doesn't make any difference. All you have to do is have one jig, because all you change it by zooming in and out on your camera. You change the diameter of what you're actually turning by moving in and out. Oh, wait a sec. I'm sorry. When I showed that to you. Okay. When I zoomed in and out, I took it to 54 or 55 as much as I can with my zoom on it. Well, it should be set down here. So I'm at 55 millimeters.
So now your template is in proportion to your piece.
That is correct. So when I turn another one of these pieces, it'll be the exact same height.
Okay. So if you, when you do that template, if you somehow reference that dimension, you can write it right on a template, and then you can go back and set it back up on in case you have to stop and start over again for setup.
My template is 91 millimeters physically.
Okay.
So the template is bigger than the pattern, than the finished piece. It makes it easier to do. It makes it easier when it's magnified.
Okay. Now let's talk about the template.
Okay.
Because I'm seeing emails up here right now or chats. I need a $75 monitor at Best Buy. I need to get this. Wasn't somebody making this as complete sets? Oh, wait.
I don't know. I have not seen anybody doing it.
Okay. But I mean, this is unique.
So
Yeah,
what type of camera do you do this with?
I'm actually using my camcorder because I already have a camcorder. I have I have a camcorder, and the reason why I'm using the camcorder, that's what I'm already set up for.
And the camcorder zooms in and out pretty easy.
Yeah.
You could really use any camera that zooms, couldn't you?
You could use any camera that zooms, or you don't even have to zoom. You can do it by position, moving your camera up and down with respect to the work.
Wow,
Yeah,
Trey, it's almost like you taught us magic.
Yeah, it's easier with something that zooms because then you can go back and adjust it easier. But you can simply move the camera further and closer to the subject by repositioning it. And the only thing you're doing with the camera is making sure what you're turning is there, and you have both points available. You need to have these 2 points.
I suppose even if you didn't have zoom, you could make the ball to fit the size of the monitor, and depending on the diameter of your cylinder, it'll just transfer the image, and when you turn the sphere, it'll be to the diameter of your cylinder or the material on the lathe, not necessarily the diameter of the ball that's on the screen.
You have to have some kind of a scale.
The size of the ball on the screen, what I do is I put the sphere up there just to get an idea of what size, to make sure that it fits in the piece of wood. That's the only reason why I put it up there, to make sure it fits in the piece of wood.
Yep.
And
so really you could size it.
And my patterns are actually 1.5 to 2 times bigger than what I'm actually turning.
Boy, this is a technique. This is one great technique.
Yeah, it is.
You have to have the scale. What does the scale? 1 to 1, 1 to 0.5, or whatever?
It's whatever. It's controlled by the position and the zoom of your camera.
Oh, okay.
Your camera zooms in and out, it changes. I just did this in the beginning of the meeting. This is one of Cindy's, and it's one of Cindy's. This is actually double size.
Switch camera. Switch camera.
Oh, okay.
Now we got you.
Okay. This was original. I put the piece of clear plastic, and this clear plastic is a document protector.
That's what I was asking.
It's a document protector, and I cut it in half to have 2 pieces.
You can buy these as sheets, right, at office supply stores.
Well, you buy as a document protector, and it goes in between 2 sheets, and then you cut it in half, and you have 2 pieces.
There you go.
Or you can take it and get something you can run through your printer and print something out, copy it on the printer, or copy it from something on the printer. This was copied on the printer to expand it, and if I'd had the right plastic, I could have just put that directly on the plastic and used it that way. But you do need this line through the center. It's very, very important because that's your alignment between your 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah, I've got some of this paper here. It's called computer graphic. It's made for inkjet.
Yep. You can get it at Staples, Walmart.
But you can see the proportions of what I turned and did on that.
Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a significant difference in proportion. It's about 2.5 times the difference of what I actually turned.
Trey,
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
You are enlarging that. Let's see. No, actually, you're reducing it down to the size. Can you go the opposite way and enlarge it?
Sure, you can do any. It doesn't make any difference.
Okay.
Now, by reducing it, by having a bigger pattern than what I'm cutting, that means I can be more precise about making it precisely the same. If it was the other way around, the pattern that you're looking at, an error would be multiplied instead of reduced. So if I'm off a little bit when the pattern's bigger, my error is reduced by whatever factor I'm at of the scale. The other way would be magnified, but yes, you can do that.
You just opened up a whole world of ideas there.
Yeah, RCA sending you a prize for the monitor sales. Trey, can I beg on you again to turn something else to show this all? Because folks may have tuned in a little bit late. We have about 100 people in our group right now. Would you turn another item or explain one?
Well, I can easily turn the sphere. Let me just turn another sphere because that's easier for me to do.
Okay, the sphere's still between centers. Can you reduce the size of the sphere?
Yes, I'll make it smaller.
There you go. What I'm thinking about is we can all cheat on Cade's egg idea. We just get a basic egg pattern. We can do them from mini birds to ostriches, just by using the zoom.
The only problem is I don't have an egg pattern.
Okay, what do you got?
I don't have an egg pattern. I do them all by hand and by eye, and just by the measurements I find of the real life egg on Amazon. But I imagine you can find egg pictures on Pinterest, on Google, on the internet, many places, print it off and transfer it to a piece of plastic.
Just go to your refrigerator.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, take a picture with your phone and print it out.
By the way, every one of them is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about where they come from.
Everyone's different.
It's almost like having an overhead projector for your lathe.
Yeah, I mean, you could use a relatively inexpensive webcam off Amazon. Attach it to a tablet or a monitor, and you're off to the races.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back to the view that I wanted to show that went crazy. I don't know why it went crazy before. what I've done is I have a piece of clear plastic. I have a circle drawn on it. And in this case, my circle is about 12.5 centimeters, or just under 5 inches. The center point's here, and I've aligned that center point to that point there and this point here, from my drive center to my live center. And when I turned the finial, I had my chuck in there to hold the finial, but I put my drive center in that chuck to do that alignment. So it's critical that you have that alignment between the two, and I wanted that point to align it to.
That's great.
Okay, and that's a critical thing, is picking that point. So we'll throw this wood on there. Now, you said you wanted this larger or smaller, you said?
Literally a change.
Okay, different. Okay, well, let me.
What size monitor is that? 14?
No, it was, so that would be 18, so about a 19-inch.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And actually, the challenge is finding something small enough.
Trey, what did you do? You zoomed in to make it smaller?
Okay, that's my zoom. That would be a big ball.
Larger.
That's going to be a tinier ball.
Okay.
In front of it.
Your elbow's in the way, your arm's in the way.
The arm is in the way, Trace.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, the more you zoom in, the smaller the ball gets. That's great.
Yeah, so let's make one about that size. Let me lock the camera in. Now I've got the size set. Now I need to, and when I zoom my camera in and out, it changes my point positioning on there. So I need to position this.
Oh, 7-inch.
Hey, Trey, what size monitor are you using there?
I think
18.
it's about a 19.
Thanks.
Yeah, someone typed in the chat that you can get a 14 to a 17-inch monitor at Best Buy for about $70.
Yeah, that would be ideal. I like the smaller size when it's next to your computer, next to it, instead of the big one.
I was Scott Hampton. Thanks, Scott.
Mine came out of an office that I used to work in. They upgraded all the monitors for the computers. They had to dispose of them because they weren't worth anything. I think I have 4 or 5 of them now.
Okay. Now, this is small. This will be a smaller diameter because I'll reduce the size, and the size of this sphere is going to be. I'll do it.
You do it in English.
1 5/8. Inch and 5/8. Or 41.
For Martin and Paul, it's 41. Okay.
41 mil.
Activity.
Okay. So I'm gonna jump back to my roughing gouge.
Donald, in Australia, you use English or metric?
Millimeters.
There on metric.
Yep.
Did you use a computer monitor to do that with?
Any monitor will work.
If it has an input for USB, it's easy. If it has an input for HMDI, it's easy. If it's RCA, that's a little bit difficult, but you can do it. It's a darn shame that the Radio Shack went away, because that's where you get all those connectors.
Yeah, Walmart sells them.
Yeah.
If you got a smart TV, you can actually cast from your iPhone to the television and use a small television.
Yeah,
or your laptop.
Or from your Android, not just an iPhone.
Yeah. You can also use a USB webcam into your laptop and then cast that from your laptop to the small monitor.
if you use Apple, it's easy to do that Apple TV thing. Because right now I'm watching it on that 60-inch TV across the room from me.
You know, you can take a phone and plug a phone into the TV and do it too. So.
Yep. Yep. You can cast directly from your phone.
Well, we are a technical world tonight.
Plug your phone into your computer and use the monitor on your computer.
Yeah, you can get a dongle that goes right into your conventional television too, from your iPhone or from a phone. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get the grandkids over here.
All right, let's pay attention to the slicing here, folks. Look at the cut he's making. It's not what comes out, it's how he's doing it.
Nice shavings.
Since this is a 40-40 grind, you saw what I did when I got to the edge. All I did was rotate it, and I'm still in the same cut. If I had another bowl gouge, I would have to move the handle and swing it to be able to do that. But I can rotate this anywhere I want while I'm making the cut.
Yep. He's cutting. He's getting long ribbons and shavings, not dust.
That's slicing. That's not gouging, that's slicing.
You realize what this is doing for duplicating now?
If you do,
yeah, I recognize that immediately, Ronnie. That's an excellent point.
Yeah, this is.
I can make two goblets that are just alike, you know.
That's
Why would
trying
you
to
want to do that though?
Yeah.
And then I'll come in. And I'll do the final refinement with a negative rake scraper.
Is that a negative rake scraper or a skew? Wait.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Both.
Okay. This is a negative
can
rake
opener.
scraper. That's a skew.
Wow, they look almost alike.
Amazing.
I get calls from people every day wanting to buy negative rake scrapers for their carbide tools. And if I tell them that you turn that tool up on a bias, put it on an angle, the wood will never know if it's negative rake or not.
This has really opened up some eyes here.
Hey, Ronnie, you want to go shop for TVs tomorrow?
I tell you what, I got that JT camera tool. I'm gonna try to do the same thing on the outside rather than the inside.
All right. I have a spare JVC camera in my that I just inherited.
Well, bring it with that spiraling tool.
I don't know if I can carry all the stuff, Ronnie.
Well, you only have to carry it one way, Eddie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I'll come to the car and help you unload it.
Sounds like Ronnie wants to come to the shop and help you unload it.
So there's another
Very
sphere.
nice, Trey. Very nice.
That's
Very
gorgeous,
nice.
Trey.
Trey, can I ask a question?
And that's the two of them. They're different sizes, but yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
Yes, when you have that in your lathe, can you put a piece of white paper underneath on your plate? And that way you can see where your tailstock and your headstock will come up, and you can mark that on that clear plastic to reference points, so you don't have to line it up every time you put it on there.
It all depends on.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
saying physically,
Yeah.
physically, you put a piece of white paper underneath there so that you can mark where your headstock is or your drive part,
In other
and
words,
where your tailstock is.
in other
You
words,
can
put a
mark them
line-
on there, and they'll be there all the time.
Yeah, but if you move the camera, that line will move.
No, it won't. It
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
along with
well-
your center. It will go along with your center line.
Okay.
No, Trey's right. Trey's right. If you bump your camera, that line changes. You have to redraw it.
Okay, that's the line that you're talking about.
Can't see it, Trey.
Oh, okay. Let me let me switch cameras. Can you see it? Okay, that's the line you're
Yes,
talking about.
yes, but go further. No, go, no, go
I
further.
changed my zoom. Look what happened.
Yeah, I understand that. But go back to where it was. Okay, now, right there, if you take a, no, hold it. Go out. All right, now, you have a point to point, you have a line, right?
Yep.
Okay, now on your clear plastic that you have on the TV, you could put a piece of white paper underneath or on your bed, and that will show a line there that you can mark on your clear pieces of paper each time you put it in there. It wouldn't have to change it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It changes when you zoom.
No, it hasn't got anything to do with the camera. You still have the center lines the same. Center line is the same. What I'm trying to say, on your TV, that piece of plastic that you have in your TV with that white paper underneath your tailstock there, you can mark it on the clear plastic to where your tailstock is and your headstock, and you don't have to reline it every time you put a part in there.
But I don't have to realign it if I put another piece in here right now.
Yeah, but the plastic on your TV doesn't have no reference points. You have to adjust that to that. That way, when you do that, you have a reference point on the clear plastic, say like a red marker or something, so that it will show your tailstock and your headstock lining up correctly without the piece in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I was
if I can turn another piece in here without any problem right now, and it stays as aligned.
Yes, but I'm just saying in future references, you take that clear piece off of your TV, and then you put the clear piece back on your TV. You'll have a reference point wherever you're lining your camera up to, that you still have. Then you line it up.
But notice when I go in and out.
Yeah.
This is the center line, and it's lined up on my TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I change the zoom, it changes because
Yeah,
my camera is not set at a dead 90-degree angle straight up off of the lathe.
Okay. All right. If it was 90 degrees, you could put the marker on there so that the next time you put that sheet on there or that circle, it will come out exactly where it belongs.
Okay, if it was perfectly aligned and I dropped the plumb bob from the center of the focus down to it,
right,
and aligned it that way, when I zoom in and out, it wouldn't move.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I was getting. That's what I was getting at. If it was 90 degrees up and down, you wouldn't have to worry about the center line moving.
But depending on what I'm turning, I will take my camera and move my camera.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Depends on what I'm turning. I'll reposition the camera to get it to where it needs to be.
I don't remember this camera. This camera doesn't have to be directly overhead. It could be 45 degrees behind you, behind your lathe.
That is correct.
Because you're looking at a circular object. So if we roll back, tall people and a camera right over the head, it might be a problem. People having a big bulky JVC like somebody gave me, I wouldn't want to have that up that high and make a rake for it. I want to make it more permanent. So there's a lot of flexibility here.
Now, there's one other thing I'll add to it. When we're doing the spindle work, my spindle gouge cuts above center. I'm not cutting down on center. If I'm on center, that edge is right where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
If I'm cutting above center,
For me right now, because
I have part of it hiding behind it.
I'll talk to you in the morning.
So what I actually do is I watch the pattern cut on the top of it instead of what's cutting on the bottom. You understand what I'm saying? When I'm cutting
yeah.
above center, this is actually cutting up here, but it's hard to see the pattern below the tool, but you can watch it on the top half of it. Make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
The way you determine the diameter of the piece is you're putting it up there and then you're getting your little ruler and measuring it to the size you want it to be. And then you leave it at that point, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And I changed the zoom on the camera to match it for the piece I've got.
Okay. If
So
you,
this-
That piece had to be 3, if that piece had to be 3 or 30 millimeters, all you do is zoom in until,
if you wanted a 4-inch sphere, you zoom out. And if you wanted a 2-inch sphere, you would zoom in until you get to that point.
Yep. Yep. And I was just thinking about this. This doesn't have to be limited to spindles.
No,
You
no,
could
no,
turn
no.
it on a bowl blank or some sort of end grain blank, and you could do a perfect hemisphere. You can
Well, I
make
can do
2
it-
of them, and you have a perfect hemisphere box.
Hey,
Right?
I could do a hollow form and cut the outside of the hollow form to a defined shape.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, if I turned it right now, I'd be turning a 2-inch ball based on the way that's set.
Okay.
Okay. But if I wanted a 4-inch,
Oh yeah.
Wow.
okay, I'm now turning a 4-inch ball.
Yep.
Trey,
Pattern-
Trey,
the
you need to do one more thing.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning, you patent this.
You got a perfect
give
hemisphere.
Ronnie and I a chance to patent it tonight.
But it'll do spindle work. That's a shape other than a ball. And that this finial is not a ball.
No.
So it would do just about any shape, including the outside of a bowl or hollow form or whatever, or a banister or whatever you want to on that.
This is nice.
It's transferable across all kinds of
Unbelievable. Again, Trey, you cease to amaze us.
Thank you,
Well,
Trey.
This is just something
great.
that, looking at lucid wood turnings, I said, well, let me try this. I think it'll work. So, and they weren't doing it. It was just a thought that came out of mind when they were talking about something else. So,
A great idea.
Yeah.
That'd be great for trying to get proportions right for finials and stuff too.
yeah, well, you can
Just for
come in there.
practice.
You don't need the study stick anymore. You already got it on there. So,
Yeah, and you can copy somebody else's finial if you get a picture of it.
well, that finial that I just did was Cindy's out of her book.
There you go. Now,
Right,
before everybody
so-
goes out and buys all these TVs and monitors and everything like that, you probably have old VGA monitors laying around. You can get an adapter that goes from HDMI to VGA for like 10, 15, 20 bucks. So, and if you have a camera that goes to HDMI, a lot of the older cameras are just composite, which is the old yellow and you don't need sound, but just single. You got adapters for that also. I've got a ton of monitors in my garage that I use all around, and I have a 1:8 replicator for VGA. So I have them all plugged into a replicator, and then I plug that into my cable box, which is HDMI. Just monitors people give away or they throw out, or you get them for $5 a piece. So
Yeah,
you don't have to go
check-
crazy.
Check the thrift stores.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check these right. The red, white, and blues.
Yeah, you can even use your cell phone or an old cell phone and plug that
Right.
into your laptop, and now your laptop is the screen
Hey,
that holds the
Trey?
plastic image.
I'm on a
over,
cell phone right now.
right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're out and you see something that catches your eye, could you take a picture of it with your camera, come home, print it, and then make that template?
Yes,
You could do the bulb or a flower or, yep.
but I can do better yet. I can use camera, oh, what is the name of it? Camera Lucida. It allows me to take it and, well, give me a second. I'll turn it on. I'll show you what it does.
Now, could you go from a cell phone to an iPad like that?
I was on a cell phone. You were watching me on the cell phone just then.
Yeah, but use your cell phone as your camera and the iPad
Yes.
as your monitor?
Yeah,
Yes.
Mama, you have to use an app in your cell phone and your iPad in order to talk to each other. And it's a very simple app and it's free.
Huh. Do you know what it's called?
Well, I got it on the App Store. I'll find it right now.
There's a bunch of them. There's a
Put
bunch
it
of
in
those
the
apps that
chat.
do that. If you're using an iPhone, Apple platforms,
Roy.
it's an NDI app. There's an app that I use called IV Cam. There's a bunch of those.
NDI Mirror is one of them. NDI Viewer is another one. It's all in your app program. Just type in NDI.
Okay. The tech
You
on the
can use
Apple
your phone for a
platform is
scanner
all-
and everything else.
The tech on the Apple platform is all NDI based. So if you're on Apple platforms, you can search on NDI and find something that you can use. It doesn't work on Android platforms. If you've got an Android phone, you got to use something else. I've successfully used IV Cam. There are others that work the same way for Android.
I have an Android phone and pad. I was just inherited. And it links between them very simply. So it happens. I know nothing about Android. It took me a whole day to figure out how to turn it on and turn it off.
I'm on my iPad right now. You said M as in Mary, D for David, I as in
No, N is in Nancy. I'll
The
put
other
it in
girl,
chat.
Nancy, not Mary, Nancy.
Put it in chat, please.
There you go. I don't know
It's
what
in
the
the
app is.
chat.
I don't know what the app is because I don't have Apple platforms. So
okay. Let me ask you a question. NDI monitor, NDI HX camera, or NDI HX capture?
Click on one and read the directions on the description on the piece, but they're very simple. You
it
see what I
uses
have
your
loaded
Wi-Fi.
on.
It usually uses your Wi-Fi. So what you've got is you have a client and a server. So the server piece is on your phone and it generates the stream. And then you have the client, which is on the other device, the iPad or the computer, and it receives the stream. And there's got to be some connection. So you start the stream and then you turn on the app on your computer and have it find the stream, if that makes sense. And it'll figure it all out through the Wi-Fi.
Mine's called NDI Cam.
There you go.
The one that's on my phone. I just clicked it on my iPad and boom, went right to it. All right, what you got, Trey?
Let me show you. This is Camera Lucida. And basically, I'm just going to take a picture of this sphere. Okay. Tell it to use the photo. Okay. I'm getting rid of that. I'm gonna go to the right mode. Well, let me go back up. Now, right now, I can change the size of that sphere and rotate it. Do whatever I want to with it. Then I go to draw mode. Now I'll just put it over my jeans so you can see what it's doing. I can change how much density it has on there. And I can actually turn something to that diameter. The advantage of having it all built into one thing is when I zoom in, I still follow that same pattern, that same edge. All I've done is zoom in on it. So I could have that over my lathe and do the same thing with it if I have it mounted.
Hey Trey, when you were doing this before, you said that you're following a certain edge. Could you explain that real quickly again?
I was following, well, I'll just, since I'm holding this, I was following, okay, I'd
Were
say,
you fitting the wood inside the image on your monitor? Is that what you were doing?
in the talking about in the very beginning?
No, like right now, like when you're in the final, getting the final shape in.
When I'm getting the final shape, you talking about with the roughing gouge?
No,
I mean,
with your bowl gouge or with the spindle gouge or the detail gouge or whatever you're using.
Okay.
Yeah, there.
When I was getting that, I was following this edge right here and watching that edge.
On your monitor.
On my monitor.
Thank you.
And right now, what I have is a cell phone sitting over my computer.
Yeah, but Trey,
I'm on a cell. The image that you're looking at is on a cell phone.
yeah, but you're really watching the top edge and you're cutting the bottom one, right?
I'm cutting the bottom, but since my my scraping and the 2020 gouge,
Yeah,
cuts,
your tool.
if I cut on center, I can watch where the bottom edge that I'm cutting on.
Okay, and how are you generating that image on your cell phone? The circle image.
Okay, I'm using Camera Lucida on it.
Okay.
It's a software package. What it is made for is I can take this here. I can set my phone at an angle, and I'll go ahead and just do it right here. I can set my phone at an angle, and I can sit there and draw that. I'm trying to draw looking at, but I can actually draw that using that pattern.
Trey, spell that last name. Camera what?
Just a second.
I'm putting it in chat, Ronnie.
Lucida.
That is correct. Lucida.
And it must be cheap because I have it.
It's not an expensive app. It's a relatively inexpensive app.
Says $10.
I'm trying to do something like that. Then how high above the lathe do you have that iPhone camera?
It was probably about 9 or 10 inches.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Now I've used, and it's great for drawing on something. For instance, I have an object, a piece of wood or something, and I want to draw something on there. I can duplicate that pattern by drawing on it directly.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have my camera mounted, and then I can draw that pattern, or I can draw a picture on it and use it to draw pictures of stuff on my subject that I'm doing.
Okay.
Let me swing this around. I'm just
I'm going to expand Matt Harbor's thing a minute ago about what are you following, the top edge or the bottom edge. Both sides are going to be the same when you finish, but here's the deal. His camera's right over his head. Suppose you can't put the camera right over the head, right over top, and you have to have it on a counter behind you or angled. That is when you can't see the tool, but you will see the results. So you look at what I would call the shadow cut, not the actual cut, but the other piece, the piece that's flying away from you, the end result. You cut by following that. And because if you get confused and you follow the tool rest or a thing down below you, your mind is going to take you in a different direction than that photo will.
Now, I found on the spindles, when I'm cutting above center, I always you have to look at the top to see where the cut actually comes from.
Yeah, it's too hard to follow the other way.
Well, the other way, my tool is hiding the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But your end result is still there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's still, you still see it you still see the cut removed from the top.
Yeah, that's where you have to concentrate.
Yep.
Concentrate on the bottom, you're looking at a shadow.
Now, there is a minor learning curve in that I am looking at a camera and turning a piece of wood without looking at the piece of wood where my tool is.
Hey, that's why we do 2x4s.
Well, but that is part of a challenge is actually, I'm comfortable enough with the bowl gouge doing it, but being able to do the turning without looking at what you're turning. All you're doing is looking at the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Trey, that's not much different than when you're doing your turning and you're watching the top edge, I'm not watching the cutting edge. I'm not watching my tool. I'm watching the shadow of the cut. So it's not
Yeah.
much different than that, right?
Not a whole lot, but you actually can see the tool in your peripheral vision, even though you're not focused on it.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys got to practice, chew gum and walk at the same time. All right. Thank you, Trey. This was a fantastic demonstration. We're all going out looking for those clear sheets to stick over our televisions right now. I'm looking to see if I got some spare monitors I can sell. This has
Man,
been
that
great.
opens up so many possibilities.
Oh,
I
it
got clear
really
sheets in my
does.
Amazon cart. I'm way ahead of y'all.
All right.
No, you're
here's the
not. I've
deal.
already got 2 monitors in the shop.
Here's the deal. You turn something using this technique. I want you to show it to us and tell us you did it with this technique. I'd really like to see that. That's what we're sharing. Come on, man. This is good. It's coming up on 8 o'clock or top of the hour. I'm Captain Eddie Castle. You're tuned into Worldwide Woodturners. Our organization is worldwidewoodturners.org, and it's here free. Got to say it again. Free. We're even cheaper than those tax people to say free because we have no links, no headaches, no magazines, no hats, nothing else. We got you. And if you are involved, we're very happy. We're on YouTube, Facebook. We have this program. We don't email out the newsletter anymore. Once I produce the newsletter, it goes on our Facebook page and my Facebook page, and a copy goes to David, our webmaster, and he puts it on our website. And somebody asked a few minutes ago, can we provide a connection for record? The license on this is kind of funny. It increases our bandwidth. So we allow certain people to record for our use. So my unit records it automatically. Trey initially went in, the co-host went in, and they will be recording. But the recorded program gets edited, cut down to size, and David puts it up on our website. But get this, he extracts the part that has the demo, like this 57-minute piece we did with Trey just now. He extracts that from the piece. Doesn't get rid of it. He just extracts it and adds it to the website. So when you go to the website, you want to know about Trey's video turning tips. That's a good name. You will find it on our website, and also go to YouTube. We have a YouTube channel out there, and that's accessible through our website also. This is so we can continue to share. That's all.
Eddie?
Hey.
I just went online to the App Store, Camera Lucida to Pro. I just downloaded it. It's $4.99.
That's $4.99, right?
$4.99.
See, scared the other day, I got a price that was the other way around.
There's one for free on Android called Fino, Fino.
That's the one that's on that set I have. I don't know what my late sister was doing with it, but she had it on her iPad and Android.
I just downloaded both the IV cam for Android, and they had a Android version for Android of the camera Lucidia, and it was free.
Yeah, hey, Kate, if you're going to use IV cam, you're going to have to install something on the PC also.
Okay. I might use it, I might not use it, because I think I could probably get away with my IRD setup with my cameras and my laptop and just put the image on my laptop, because I have Zoom on my cameras.
You don't even have to do that.
One of the things that lets me do, IV Cam does, is it lets me use my phone as, I'm using vMix. It allows me 3 cameras and a 4th input, not a camera. So if I want to add my phone into a Zoom session, then I create it as another camera, and I IV cam it so I can walk around the shop. That's how I did the shop tour I did months ago or whatever.
I use an Apple TV box to do mine. I have an Apple phone. I use an Apple TV to get HDMI out to plug it into the switcher. You can, you already have the video set up. You can use your TV that your monitor you already have there, and just use your overhead camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I did. That's all I did was use my overhead camera, set up. I didn't do anything different.
I have a question for everybody. I purchased Camera Lucida on my iPad. Can I also install that on my iPhone free of charge?
I think so.
Yes.
It might have a free version.
No,
Should be
not free version. If you've already paid for it on one device, they let you get it on the second device without a second charge.
Right.
So just go back to the app and do it fresh?
Well, did you download on your phone or tablet?
I downloaded on my iPad.
Okay, then just go on your phone, go to the Apple Store, and then look at it, and you'll just have a little download button to download it.
Okay.
You already have rights to it.
Yep.
When you go to it, it'll say get, and that's where you click it. It doesn't say buy, it says get.
Now,
Remember your pass.
One thing you get with Camera Lucida, if you set it up on a tripod, or you can get a special little stand to set your phone or your tablet on, and you can actually trace a drawing on a piece of paper from a picture and see what you're drawing. That's really what it was set up and used for, is being able to actually draw pictures on stuff.
And if anybody's interested in those clips, I've got a couple of them. I think both of mine are out in the shop, but for like $10 on Amazon, I found this tall telescoping tripod, and with a clip on top of it, it holds my iPhone in this position. It won't hold it up. It'll hold it in this position.
Yeah.
But this is what you want to generate right here to go into your computer. It's a much better image. You don't get all the stuff on the sides. But it was relatively cheap on Amazon if you look for the tripod. I used one the other day at Ronnie's house, right, Ronnie?
Yep.
Kind of wiggly, but hey, you're not taking a picture of cars.
This is Dean. You can get these things here too that are designed to hold a camera or a phone, and then you can put lights and mics and whatever. But the nice thing about that is it has a tripod socket all the way around it.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you could hook a tripod up and hover that right over the lathe, just like so. And
Put the name of that in the chat, would you please? Because
this one is Bauer, but I mean, all you got to do is look for. I'll look it up and put a link to Amazon. I think this one came from Walmart, but I'll look it up on Amazon and put a link in it. Okay.
Yeah, well, there's a Walmart pretty close to me where I live, and I can go there. But I'm trying to get something set up with like,
and it includes a microphone and a light.
Now, as you're doing all this, you actually could have the camera just on the back side of your lathe, and it doesn't have to be real high. It's still seeing the round object. You just won't see the cutting tip of where you're cutting, but you can see what you're turning.
And you can, if you don't get, as we talked a little while ago, directly over the plumb bob and all that, you're going to have a shadow. If you go behind it, you know the shadow's there.
But what I'm saying, you could actually just have it directly in front of the lathe. It's a 90-degree difference, and have it directly in front of the lathe. It would still do the same thing.
Yeah, it's
mount it on a tripod in front of your lathe and point at it, and then you should do the same thing versus putting it over the top. The only difference is you would not see your cutting tool, but you could see the shadow of what was actually being cut.
And we getting a lot of comments on the chat about this tonight. If you don't, pardon me, before you leave tonight, at any point, you can say save chat on the chat line, and all that information will be there. But it also be on our website. That's why we share the information. And that's how we share the information. We're going to go to gallery in just a moment. If you have something you want to show in the gallery, you put a note in chat. Paul Hannaby, who's in Great Britain, will be lining it up and announcing who's going to be on the chat. And Dane's got the capability of spotlighting them. So he'll say, Trey's got something, click, click, and you'll be looking at Trey and his piece, and we'll get it done. And if we have anybody out right now, Paul?
Yep, there's plenty of people waiting.
All right, well, you pick them and go with them. That's what we're doing.
Okay. First up, we've got David J from Michigan.
David? You're up, sir.
Yes. All right. A couple of years ago, I did this in a class. I went to Arrowmont in Tennessee. And this is one of the bowls that I turned.
That's
I don't
nice.
know what kind. I
Beautiful
don't know
wood.
what kind of wood it is. It's only maybe 5 inches across, about 4 inches tall.
A pretty shape.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty. It looks like curly maple.
I don't know what it is. It's just a wood that they had in a class there. So
Definitely
the
got some
inside,
fairly figure in it, hasn't it?
yeah, the inside of it there has a good pattern, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like curly maple.
Yeah.
And then I have one here. I don't know. It's just probably the same kind of wood, maybe a poplar or, but a different shape.
Yeah, it looks like the same piece of wood.
Who was that instructor at Aramont?
I can't remember. His last name starts with a Z. He was from Canada. I think he's from Canada. I'm not sure. Up there somewhere, but anyways, he
Malcolm Xander.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And he's a good instructor.
It's a nice piece of work. Very nice.
Thank you. That's it.
Thanks.
Next up, we've got Bob Grinstead.
Hey guys, I got a piece of walnut, made a, I don't know, call it a wing bowl or something.
That's pretty.
Real nice.
But the grain turned out good. I like the branch that was in it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's got lots of character.
Yeah. All right, thanks. That's it.
Thanks. Okay. James Desbro, Alamo Wood Turners.
Yes.
Keep talking. I'll find you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still here. There we go.
Yeah, got it.
Got him.
This is another little Christmas ornament I made this week. I pierced the top of it. It's made out of ash. On the finial side, I've got a antler. And on the top part, I've got another piece of antler with a piece of leather tied to it for hanging it from a tree.
That's neat.
That's
I
my
like
comment.
that.
That's neat.
Tell me something about those natural edge pieces like that. Are those light?
Oh, that's cool.
No.
That's
They're
awesome.
not.
They're just
They're heavy?
reflecting.
No, I mean, are those light in weight? Are they?
Oh,
not
yes.
heavy?
I
Okay.
mean, this thing's just a couple ounces.
Cool. Thanks.
Sure. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, you don't do F6. Okay.
Down.
Okay.
Too
Thanks,
much?
James.
Oh.
Okay, next up, we've got Charlie Bundy.
All right, JD.
Charlie's up. All right. Charlie, you're on.
Yes, sir. I did my first segmented. It's an ash urn funeral urn.
Wow.
That is nice.
That's really nice.
It's
I
got
like that.
19 rings, 16 segments to a ring.
Wow.
Oh.
All right, quickly. Let's do the math.
That's pretty.
204 segments.
Oh, he gave away the answer.
And I did a cross.
That's nice.
That's
The
pretty.
grain really accents it very nicely.
That is oak. That's been underwater for a long time.
Wow. That's nice.
And
Big-
another smaller one.
Beautiful.
Looking great.
Thank you, Charlie.
You're very
That's
nice,
a
Charlie.
box elder.
Box elder.
That's
One
all.
of my favorite woods. Very nice, Charlie.
Thanks. Okay, next up we got Andy S from Harrowville.
Hey, guys. Joining the 2x4 club tonight.
All right, Andy.
I brought donuts, but took a bite out of them.
Were they good?
Not a little tough. They
No
old,
fiber in
little
'em?
stale.
They have a lot of fiber in them?
Is that what you made out of 2x4?
That's 2x4. I cut a 2x square, drilled an 1.1/8 hole in the middle to mount it on my pin jaws and made a round.
Lots of
Took
fiber.
a drill bit and took the bite marks out of it. And I glazed them with, this is chocolate, which is brown paint, real thick old house paint that I had. And this is a white one. The light don't really show it, but they're icing.
That is cool.
That is awesome. Very
Yeah.
well done.
Hey, Paul, if you click up on me, we'll make Andy a member of the 2x4 club. You click my name and boom, there he is.
There he is.
All right.
Yeah.
Kind of project. I love donuts. I'll have to make one or two.
All right, Andy, who's up next, Paul?
We've got Billy Burt from Alamo next.
Hey, Billy.
Hey, Billy.
Back
Billy's
in
back.
the saddle again. Yep, I'm back in the shop, guys.
News.
That's great.
Oh, no, I don't see.
At the shop, it's an awful clean shop.
Oh, there we
There
go. Okay, here we are. This week I turned this little jewel.
Back to you. Back to you. There you go.
There is no light. Well, you can see the brown in the bottom. Little kind of a flying saucer shape. It's hard to see the blue. I stained the top blue.
No, it pops up every once in a
Oh, there it
second.
is.
Yeah,
You can see the blue there. But it's 4 3/4 inches wide. Got some I left these little square or from where the chainsaw cut it, but 2 inches deep, hollowed out nicely. Bring it back here again.
I hit,
And,
those
finished-
little, I hit those little chainsaw squares. I hit them with the wood burning torch with the torch and burn them so it looks like bark.
Oh, that would be cool.
What's the finish on there, Billy?
It's lacquer, Deft, the only lacquer I use.
It's good. I like that lacquer.
Lacquer.
Yeah, I love Deft lacquer. Anyway, it's got 4
sprays
coats
really
of,
nice.
yeah, it does. 4 coats of Deft, and I just finished it up today. So I'm happy with this. Back in the shop, and my first project since coming out of the hospital. So we're good.
Looks great to see you back, bud. Really good.
Thanks. Oh, I forgot to add. This is there's a YouTube challenge, YouTube cross channel challenge going on. YouTube CC or YTCCC 2021 this month, March. The theme is water, which is why I stained the top of this blue. So this will be my entry into the cross channel challenge.
Good
Don't know
luck
what
to you,
next
sir.
month is going to be yet. Thanks.
All right, Billy. Billy's wearing a SWAT shirt from Southwest Association of Turners, which normally holds their convention in Waco, Texas, the third weekend of August. We have not heard back from them if they're going to set the program up this year. The entire board, which is made up of club members, will vote on that and give us a response to see how we're making out with this killer virus and getting together like that. So we'll let you know we know more about SWAT.
Eddie?
Yes.
I was on the website a few days ago, and they have announced tentatively, I think, that it will be the 27th through the 29th of August this year. So there's no lineup yet for demonstrators, but I'll be keeping my eye out on it because I know I'm jonesing to get back.
There is a board meeting this Saturday with SWAT.
Yes.
And I think decisions will be made then.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
That's what I heard.
the city of Waco is putting some pretty big restrictions on us. So it's decisions will be made this weekend.
Right.
I hope.
Cool.
So next
I
week,
hope so,
right here
too.
on Worldwide Wood Turners, you'll hear about it. I love it. I'm trying to figure out a way to get there. My boss won't take me this year.
Uh-oh. You can always.
I'm gonna get there. It's a long walk, but I'll get there.
Order won't let me there this year.
Okay, next we've got Dean Grimes.
Okay, guys.
Hi there.
Did a couple of videos this week. This one was on a dibber, little garden planting instrument. And then I had one on a
whoa
box
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Talk about sharing wood.
And that's why I love box elder.
And then I've got one more. I'm not sure if it counts as 2x4 challenge, but it is definitely construction lumber. I got a hold of some 2x12s a while back, and I was using it to practice my cuts. And so I'd cut one and get it pretty thin. That's down to a little less than a 1/16 on the edge there. And I'd toss it in the trash. Well, my wife took this one out and put a green wash on it and then did a little pen drawing in the middle of it. So
That's
I'll
really
never
nice.
throw that one away.
That is nice.
That's gorgeous.
Really nice.
That is nice.
Very nice.
And it was a practice piece.
Yeah, it was actually, I put it in the trash and she pulled it out.
Good for her.
I figured if I could get my cuts down to where I could reduce my sanding and get them smooth, and that's straight off the tool.
Great.
That's nice.
Wow.
Nice.
When you learn how to slice, you slice. Thank you. Appreciate it, Dean.
Thanks, guys.
And his videos on YouTube are very helpful, very, they explains it. He talks technique. And remember, folks, we're not artists. We're just wood turners. And
That's just a big 2x4, isn't it?
Well, he doesn't make it for 2x4. We don't have a 2x12 club yet.
That was 2x12.
Okay, yeah, we can't do that. We can put your name on the chart about 6 times. But... Who's up, Paul?
We got Alfred Shembry.
Oh, he's got nice work. He sends us pictures of him all the time.
It makes me jealous.
Hi, guys. Hi. How's everybody doing?
All right. Rowe.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Whoa. Wow.
Bowl I just finished. It's about between maybe 17 and a half inches in diameter. Turned to about, I don't know, maybe 7/16 thickness all the way down. I love the grain on these, you know, as sometimes you get lucky with box shoulder and then you can see where all the bugs go in. And, you know, and even the inside.
That's a beautiful piece of wood.
Yeah.
Nice.
Was that one of
Great
those
piece of
pieces
work,
that
but
we got up at Joe's woodlot?
What's that?
Ray's son's woodlot. Is that one of those pieces you got from that?
It might have been, but I'm not sure if I got this from there or from somewhere else. You know, I'm always scavenging wood when I see something coming down or I hear a chainsaw. I usually, you know, get in my car, my truck, and I go and see what's happening.
Yeah.
And
very nice, Alfred. Very nice.
But that's one. And I did this about, I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago. And
that's beautiful.
This is very, very light.
Really pretty.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, there is
gorgeous.
Yeah. There's a technique. I had seen somebody doing this. This is they use a balloon to do this technique. And this is iridescent, like the Joe Sonia paints. And you get a balloon which very, very underinflated. You dip it in it and then you push it. But there's kind of a learning to it because you have just in and out. You cannot turn or twist or slide. Otherwise, you won't get the pattern there.
That sounds like a demonstration, doesn't it? I really, listen up.
Yeah. And that's the finial for it.
He can probably team up with Matt, and get that. I'm just, throwing an idea out there.
Yeah.
What do you think,
this is I don't know if I talked about this last time, but I'm starting to do finials like this now with the bottom. This is about just over 3/4 inch, and I put a 3/4 inch hole here. And I learned this technique of putting this long stem down here from a guy. I took a class at Aeromont from Avellino Samuel. And what he does them like that so that when you turn it, it doesn't fall out. You know, usually when you show something to somebody, the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna turn it, you know, but you can turn it all the way up to here and nothing turns because it's heavier in the bottom, and there's this, it's gonna stop it from just popping out. You know, somebody picks it up, it's not gonna come out. And actually I had this, I turned the shape on this a while, at least 2 years ago. I didn't know what I was gonna do with it. This was box elder too, but I had a couple of cracks here. So I said, I have to see what I'm gonna do. And this is something similar to what Cindy Drozda does. She likes this shape and this, and then I came up with this. And actually the background here is black, and for the Joe Sonia to show, they need a dark background. And there is no finishing at all. This is black lacquer. And this one, there's no finishing at all. It's the way it came out from the paint.
Very nice, Alfred. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, sir.
You're welcome.
You know, folks, as we're going along tonight with Gallery, this is the second wood turner that's mentioned that he went to Aeromont. If you're new or a novice or getting into this, there's several good wood turning schools. John C. Campbell's good. I enjoyed my visit there. Also, Aeromont. I went there a couple of times.
Yes.
Aeromont, ARROWMONT. They've got a great website. You sign up, they'll send you a brochure and a catalog. You can pick what you want. Most programs run for a week, but they got some that are shorter. And my deal was I showed up on a Saturday evening and left the next Saturday evening. And you get one-on-one with the instructor. I mean, it might be 12 people in your class, but there's not this thing where he'll teach and walk away. He teaches and then he comes to you. And when I went there with Eli Avacera, at 7 o'clock at night, they have a little show to show everybody's work across the street. And Eli had come back and we would turn it till midnight.
Yeah.
Just me and Eli. And it was a fantastic experience. If you have a chance, check it out. All right, back to the gallery now. If Paul's got some more gallery items, we're going to show it off. Oh, wait, Jack Brown, you asked about that thing for the camera.
Yes.
I put it in already put it in a chat. I looked it up. If you type in those words, you will find a whole page full of those brackets, and they're under $20. All right,
Okay, yeah,
up?
I think I see it here. Thank you.
Who's up next?
We've got Dave and Trish George next.
Go ahead, Trish.
You got to unmute yourself.
Are you there?
Yes, sir. We're here. You're there.
Okay. Again, I'm a very beginner wood turner, and this was apple wood from our backyard. And so I tried to turn a box, and I finally got the lid to actually work fairly decent. And did a little, get in the camera here, a little of that etching along the top. So it was a fun project. What I'm struggling with right now is, especially on smaller diameter, this is like 1 3/4 in the middle, actually getting in and getting the bottom to where it's smooth with the gouge. So it worked out, but it's not the best. But it's, I know, no buts. I'm working on it. I'm learning. I do have
Trish, can I interject here?
Yes.
You want to do that on the inside of a piece and you work with end grain. I don't know how many other guys will agree with me or disagree with me. I would immediately go to a scraper. Once I've removed most of my wood, I would scrape it, and you can sharpen the scraper on a slight angle and then sharpen it, and you slide it down the bottom and down the side and then across the bottom. It'll give you an awesome edge. It gives you a better edge than sanding sometimes.
So like a round nose scraper, right?
No, sir. Those are flatten off
scraper.
the scraper. Flatten off the scraper. You want
Okay.
90 degrees, and you can put a little round on the corner where it goes in it, because you really don't have that corner sharp. When you make
Right.
sharpen the scraper, put a little round on it to get down there to make contact.
Okay. One other question then I have is, again, being real new at this, this is probably the biggest bowl that I've turned so far in the process.
Pull it back towards you.
It's still on the chuck. It's a chunk of black walnut, and I got some the bark left on the sides.
I like the inclusions. That's nice.
That's pretty.
And so, well, thank you. And so I need to thin out the walls some more, but I'm taking my, and I'm struggling, being new at this, I'm taking my, this is a 1/2 inch bull gouge, and basically I'm going from the outside in, but when I get down to the bottom where I want to transition over, it's like, it's straight enough, and instead of a round curve going into the middle, it's more of a shooting it toward a 90. So I'm losing my bevel, I think, contact. And so it's almost like I'm scraping a little bit across the bottom with that gouge. I'm afraid of getting a catch in that. Is there a better method of working on that? Do you go into the middle and try to come back out?
When you get to a deeper bowl like that, you need a gauge with a steeper bevel.
Yeah.
Your bevel's about 60.
It will go up to 60 or so degree bevel, and that will allow you to maintain that bevel contact on a deeper bowl.
So you should have what angle bevel?
Well, whatever you've got there, take 10 degrees off or something like that. So if you're working with 50 degrees at the moment, go up to 60. If you're working with 40, go 50, 55, something like that.
Okay.
They call it a bottom eater for that reason. It will turn that bottom of the bowl.
Yeah.
Got it.
You check craft supplies or one of those places, they'll show you a photograph of one that's got that cut on it too. You understand it.
Yeah.
Okay.
On extremely deep bowls, you might even go up to 70 degrees plus.
Okay.
That gives you a bit more.
You can always get it clean with a scraper in the bottom of that bowl too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a 3/4
here.
I have a bowl side scraper made of 3/4 inch steel about 3 feet long that somebody gave me. And when I can pick it up and use it, it does a great job for that.
Well, yeah, because like you say, is that the deeper you get, the more beef I guess you need, and more leverage on the handles, I guess. But so basically, what you're saying though, Eddie, was to basically a square scraper and maybe on the corner round it off just a little bit and just go in and scrape it that way.
Yeah, because you don't want that sharp corner. It's too hard to fit. To my opinion, it's too hard to fit. And if you go the other way, then you come up a nice even slope.
Yeah,
okay.
That's from Ray. Somebody had a demonstration that I can't think of. I don't do names, but that's
right
where I picked it up at.
Yeah, one other thing I do with scrapers too, after I grind, after I sharpen them on the grinder, I normally take the top off, take the burr that I created off, because that's so jagged and it can be actually too aggressive. And then I get a ceramic stone on the side and I just go around it one time and I raise a very nice burr, and that will give you a fine edge, because being overhang that far in, it might want to be a bit grabby for you unless tilt it way up.
Right.
So by doing that,
right.
That grind, that take the grind off, the burr that you have created from the grind, and then you get even a hard piece of high-speed steel will do, and you create your own burr, very nice, and you use it flat, very lightly, and you see those shavings come out. I think a scraper would be ideal for doing the bottom of that hollow form.
Now consider this: that burr that Alfred just said you put on your piece, it doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
So if you're making a couple of cuts, 3 or 4 passes, and you realize you're not cutting as much, pull it back out and roll the burr back on it again. Don't take it to the grinder. Just roll the burr back on it again and go back to work.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, it's been very helpful. I really enjoy this, and thanks again.
You're quite welcome. Come back, show us some more. We've got Paul handling our gallery tonight. If you got something to show, put it in our chat. Paul will get to you. We'll call you up and do it. Who else you have, Paul?
We've got Walking Vincent next.
Oh, this is almost cheating.
Oh, come on.
I'm trying to find the photograph. Show us, Joaquin.
Okay. First of all, I just want to say, ain't this a fantastic club? It's just unbelievable. You know. Well, Saturday afternoon, I went to Cindy Drozdo's IRD on a tall, hollowed, colored vessel, as she called it. Let's see here. I did it. The body, it is hackberry, and the finial, and the foot, they're Texas ebony. And I did a yellow dye on the top and bottom, then I just blended them together, trying to do what she does. And then I put some, you can see a little bit left, there's some gold embellishing wax that kind of got in the pores. From what I see on my TV, it's not really doing it justice, but it was a fun project, and I'm going to do a few more of them, but it was really
it's
fun.
not. I saw the pictures you posted on Facebook there. That looks a lot prettier in those pictures.
Yeah, when I see it on my screen, it's not really showing the colors like it does.
It's a beautiful piece, Joaquin.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Awesome job. Joaquin, if you'd mail that to me, I could get a better look at it.
Yeah, I got a new color printer.
That's gorgeous.
Let's see, maybe a few birdhouses for it. Or
there you go.
Little bitty birdhouses, right, Bob?
Several.
make a birdhouse out of this one, Bob.
What else we have up tonight, Paul?
Thanks. We got Cade up next.
Cade's in Canada. There he is.
Hi, everyone. How's it going? I have a bottom feeder here, so I can show you the angle. So this is your regular bowl gouge. Well, it depends how far back you sweep back those wings, but this is my Irish grind bowl gouge, which is a 3/8 inch.
It's also called an Ellsworth grind.
Yeah, so that has a 55-degree bevel on it, swept back to 120 degrees on the swept back straight angle. And this is your bottom feeder. So this has a angle of probably 60 to 70 degrees. And when you come across that flat bottom, it transitions a lot easier. So I'm riding the bevel, I'm off the bevel for a second, but I'm immediately right back on the bevel to come down and across the bottom of that bowl. It's much easier, and you get less resistance, and you're less likely to catch that opposing wing on that wall that you're approaching as you go into that deep hollow form and try to come across the bottom.
When you started creating that bottom feeder, what kind of a tool was that? Did you buy it that way, or was it like a bowl gouge that you then modified?
I bought it this way. So this is a Hope handle, and the tool is also a Hope tool. So when I unscrew this, I have my Irish grind on one end, and I have my bottom feeder on the other end. So you can buy it like this, and it's interchangeable. But I mean, I have many, many bowl gouges of this size, so I just keep this end as my bottom feeder.
What
I do
degrees
have
on the
more
bottom?
of these types of tools. That one is a 1/4 inch. This one is a 3/8, so this is the Ellsworth, and the bottom feeder is in the handle. And this one is my 5/8.
I need these.
So an Ellsworth here, and my bottom feeder is in the handle. And these are from Hope Turning Tools, which is in England. Yeah.
Hope Turning Tools.
Yeah, Simon Hope.
Yeah, Simon Hope. And they're quite handy. I think Crown, Sorby, almost every dealer of tools has some sort of bottom feeder, or you can modify. You can buy a gouge, and you can always just modify that angle to a steeper angle and sharpen it that way as well. Yeah. So you
What
can
degree
buy
did
them,
you
or
say you
can
used
make
on the
them.
bottom feeder, Cade?
Pardon?
What degree on the bottom feeder is your bevel?
The degree on my bottom feeder is about 60. There's the side view.
Okay.
And here's the front view. So it's about 65, 70 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes not to, so you can stay on the bevel.
Yes. And you
That's
see,
the
I
key.
didn't sweep back these wings to give it that Ellsworth grind, because if I did, those wings are what will catch as we come down and around that tight curve.
And you start using that tool on the bottom of the edge of the bowl, all the way to the bottom. And that tool is going to swing almost 90 degrees from your bowl, transitioning from the bottom part to have a full 90-degree swing before you get to the bottom. So it's a major swing on the tool.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks.
You know, the best way to do this, I caught this from, maybe it was Hannah's making hats. Find something of the shape you want to cut for that bottom, or draw it on a piece of paper, and then take your tool and imagine how you would go around that. Because if you can't go around it drawn on a piece of paper, you can't go around it if it's made out of wood.
Eddie, I think he just volunteered a demo.
Who did?
Kate.
Who would have done that? Kane? Oh, yeah. Well, we had one of his demos a while back. It was pretty much awesome.
Just the bottom feeding use of that tool.
I could do some sort of demo at some point. Just
A
let
quick
me know
and
how
dirty, because
booked
they're
we are.
talking about the drastic changes of your angle. It might be good to actually see it.
See it
Hey,
used.
I know how
I
to.
don't use it often, but when I do, it works well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I appreciate it, Cade. That's very helpful for a new beginner here.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
You're
I
welcome.
use that bottom feeder too, mostly when as you were saying, when you have deep bowls and the handle, you're coming off the bevel and the handle is gonna touch the outside of the rim. So
Yep.
that's when you come off the bevel and then you start getting all those ridges there. So I use that bottom feeder, and I tell you what, it cuts beautiful. You start getting ribbons there. Once you can, it's very simple to grind. It's a simple grind. You don't need any jig for it. You just lay it on the platform and just rotate it. And that's all you do. You don't need any Wolverine or any of the other jigs. But once you get the feel of it and you run the bevel, it just cuts beautiful.
I had a very low cost gouge I received about 10 years ago or more. And I didn't like it. But when I needed a bottom feeder, I was looking at it. I put it on a grinder, made it a bottom feeder, not throwing it away.
Yeah.
It worked great.
Hey,
So
Chris,
here's my 5/8 one I just took out of the handle. So there's the Ellsworth one I showed you. And here is my bottom feeder. Now the bottom feeder, you don't need any special jig because we're not getting those swept back wings. With this, it's on your wheel and it's just sharpened exactly like a roughing gouge. You find your angle of 65, 70 degrees and you just sharpen it like a roughing gouge, rotate it 120 and 120. You don't no, 180. Yeah, you go half a circle on either side.
hey, Trish,
Or, yeah.
something like that.
Go ahead, Ronnie.
Good, Ronnie.
Trish, this is Ronnie Barnett. I sent you
Yes.
a personal message a few minutes ago. If you want to put my phone number in there, give me a call and we can talk about this one-on-one to get you straight on that. That's what this club's about now. Anything that
Yep.
we can do to help you.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'll do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank
for sure.
you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank
So
you,
that's what
Cade.
it is,
Appreciate the input. And folks, it's coming up on the quarter to the hour. And I have to mention, as Ronnie said, send them a message about the telephone. We don't do a registration list. We don't keep your name and your phone number and your email and all that. If you want to communicate with another member, you can do it right there in chat. Say, please contact me and put the phone number in. We don't want to have that big roster of names. Imagine if a real catalog service got a hold of that. You'd be bombarded. Yesterday, I looked up something on the internet, and it's from my wife, and I'm being bombarded today about quilting patterns. So, you know, if you put it in there, Big Brother's watching. Talk about Big Brother. Paul is over in the UK. He's handling our gallery tonight, and I see a couple other folks that please get me in there. One Way makes a great double-ended tool. Also, Doug Thompson makes a bottom feeder, so we have all that. Paul, who else we have?
We've got Glenn Dornack next.
Glenn, go.
Yes. I'd got a piece of a magnolia log from some friends of mine, and I had turned I left some of the natural edge a little bit, otherwise it wouldn't be as deep. And I kind of turned a lip to make it for a change bowl. And this is out of it's magnolia, and I took it about from the middle of the log, and it had about 6-7 different branches coming out of there. So I left them all in there, and I turned it that way because of all the branches, and it turned out pretty good. It ended up, I turned it and it'd get cracks. I turned some more, get some more cracks, but I didn't give up. I kept turning it.
Good.
And then I had, back in November, I watched one of Cade's IRD on doing the wig stands. And so I had turned,
Hold on. Ronnie, look at the stem on that wig stand. All right. Ronnie's paying attention to it now.
I'm looking at it.
Wow, very nice.
The top and the bottom are out of hackberry, and it's got a lot of the gray, cream and gray colors in it, and then I turned the spindle part out of walnut, and then I carved the spirals in the center, just using the grid pattern, and then just follow the grid and cut them out like that. But this one's for myself, because this was the first one I did. But we're going to start it in our club here in Corpus, the Coastal Bend Woodturners. We're going to it's going to be a challenge, and I'm going to try to get some wood donated, and we're going to turn them, and then we're going to donate them to the Coastal Bend Cancer Center for the women and the men, whoever needs the stands for their wigs, because I know what they're going through, because what my wife had gone through a number of years ago. And so she had a wig stand, but it was just it was a styrofoam head. But
Glenn, what's the overall height on that?
The overall is around 14, 15 inches, okay, because the base and the top are 2 inches thick. And from the center, or from the bottom of the spindle to the top, is about 10.5. So I started with a 12-inch long piece of walnut and just turned tendons on it. And but then the base and the top are about just a hair over 5 inches long, 5-inch diameter. So, but I got, pardon?
See that, Eddie, with that spiraling tool, I could put a spiral on them.
I don't think you can do that with the spiraling tool. But you know what? If you can, we want to show it.
He's not gonna give up, Eddie.
But this one, yeah, I did that all. I laid it out with a grid pattern, and then I used a little coping saw to follow the pencil line to get it started, and then I went in with different size files and rasps to get them to the depth I wanted. And this,
very nice.
And
Yeah, that's beauty.
This I had put that Axe paste wax on it.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
I've got that. That's polishing. They have a polisher wax and a paste wax.
Right.
So, yeah.
But
I've used the product. It's very nice.
Very nice.
But the dimensions and all of these, I got it off of Cade's website. He had the dimensions and drawings online. So I'm fixing to send drawings out to our members, and that's going to be hopefully it will be a challenge where we will be doing it year round, because they're going to be needing them all the time. So
thank you. That's a beautiful piece of work.
Thank
I'm
you.
doing the same thing in New Orleans. I'm starting to make some of those.
Hey, Ronnie.
Rodney, now that I think of it, yeah, that's the dimensions I make mine too. So I cut my spindle about 11 inches long, 2 by 2, and then the top is 8/4 and the bottom is 8/4, and I cut the base to about 6 inches and the top to about 5 inches. So depending how big you make those tenons, you end up with roughly 13 to 14 and a half, 15-inch tall wig stand. So
yeah. But yeah, I jotted dimensions down that time you had done your I think you had showed them on that Wednesday night, and then I took your class, but that was a very informative class. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks. That's good.
All right.
I'm glad to hear. Anyone who wants the wig stand dimensions, you can email me, or I believe I already sent them to Eddie, and they might be on the wood turning.
They are on the website.
Yeah, they are on the website. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
That's our webmaster. He takes care of that. He gets information for wood turners and shares them with the wood turners at no cost. This is free. All right. There's about 75 of us left in here tonight. We need a vote. How many vote that we make wig stands a challenge in May?
Sure.
Turn your wig stands, take a picture of them, and then bring them to a local cancer center. They will not turn them down. So let's do I have a vote? Put your hand up.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to count. I think we have a unanimous vote. Okay. If not, you guys just leave. But we're going to do wig stands for April. All right. Is that okay? All right.
Yeah,
Now,
perfect.
I got to go to Matt real quick. Matt, you accepted the challenge?
Yeah,
Matt
you said I want to see somebody use the spiraling tool to put a spiral in something like that, like what he was showing on his wig stand. So I'm going to accept that challenge and see what I can do about that.
Sweet.
Uh-oh.
Is that for April or for May?
No, that's just me. Nobody else has to do that.
No, and if you don't believe me, look, it's on the list right now. Matt on spiraling. I'm not going to miss it.
I got to make it work first.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, we were chatting about the duration of this program, and let me explain to all the members. We opened the doors at 6:00 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And I can say daylight because Doug checked out for the night. And then our program actually is supposed to start at 7:00. And that's when we put our demonstrations in. Before then, we have a casual chat on the tailgate of the truck. We talk about everything that's dealing with the wood turnings. At 7:00, we do our demo. And then if we have a safety minute with Jeff, a volunteer. And then we do the gallery with volunteers programming that. And it is cut from the beginning of this project of Worldwide Wood Turners. our vision was to do a 1 hour program 1 day a week. And that would be it. 1 hour program 1 day a week. And that didn't work out. The first night we ran almost 2 hours. And now we run 3 hours. But Trey told me last week, you guys kept talking until midnight.
Yep.
Way past his bedtime. I mean, look at the guy. He needs to sleep. But
No, it's close. It was closer to 1 o'clock.
Closer to 1 o'clock. All right. Here's the deal. At 9 o'clock, we formally don't have a meeting anymore. Anything you want to do or say is fine, as long as you remember the rules. It's got to be wood turning. You have to be kind, and there absolutely positively no vulgarity, no profanity. This is a family program. Nobody needs to be offended by it, and we won't go there. Again, we'll be back next week. I think we have a good demonstration again next week lined up. I believe I'm putting a hook on Mr. Moore to do a water spot plate. Are you still with us, Mr. Moore? He was in here a little while ago.
I'm in here. What am I doing? Something about water or something.
Yeah, it's a water. The image he put on the edge of a bowl.
That was for me, wasn't it, Eddie? Or Doug Miller who offered.
It's Doug Miller.
Doug Miller. I'm sorry, I'm Doug Miller. I got them all mixed up.
You gotta go. You need something to eat?
That's all right. Yeah, I'll do it next week.
Yeah, see, where we're going, North Carolina?
Kentucky.
I hate close, you know.
What did
Doug, does it have to be?
He wishes North Carolina.
That wouldn't be so bad.
Hey, Doug, does it have to be raining for you to do that piece?
No, sir. It can be as dry as a bone.
That's better than we have here in New Orleans. I got 2 inches of water all the way across my backyard, and it ain't draining, so the pumps aren't working. And we just had another storm while we were on air, so we're wet, we're moist. All right. Anybody else up tonight for a gallery or something you want to show, talk about?
Yeah, I've got one. I think that was the last one so far. This one here, this is just an ash bowl, but I've cut it out for a yarn bowl.
That's nice.
And it's got a bit of spalting on the other side as well, just a bit of an added interest.
What's the 2 extra holes on the side?
That's for when you finish, you can put your needles in the hole, so it holds the needles as well.
That's a cool idea.
It's a great idea.
A yarn bowl.
Hey, Paul, why did you make the hole so big in, traditionally I see people spiraling through. Why did you make the hole like you made it?
I thought it was just easier. I mean, what I did was drill that hole and then I cut the groove. I've done them before with a spiral, but this time I thought I'd try something different. So I just drilled a hole there. It's about 1 inch, and then cut the groove. And I've got a small jigsaw, like a model size version of a jigsaw, and cut the slot with that.
You have to remember, folks, if that was a scroll or a spiral, you'd have a little piece of wood coming down, and it is side grain. And if they get a kink and pull on it, they'll say, hey, look, it broke. That's got a little beef on it, which is nice.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. That little spiral, the little bit of wood in there is real delicate. So do you have any feedback on how that hole works yet?
Not yet, no. It hasn't been tried in anger yet, but I'll let you know.
Great. Okay, cool. Thank you. That's a great idea. I like that.
Thank you, Paul. Paul, I appreciate your input tonight from the United Kingdom. He's one of our members. There we have Donald in Australia and several others. And this is the Worldwide Wood Turners. If you like to chat about anything dealing with wood turning, it's going to be an open floor, folks. Let's go. Let's rock and roll.
Well, Eddie, I got one thing I can quickly show that I did this week. A friend came over and I turned my ornamental lathe on. So did a little medallion on the end.
That's nice.
Sweet. That looks
Can you
great.
see? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a little medallion on the end of it that's turned.
Is that walnut?
It's walnut.
Yeah.
And then this side is actually swings back around because I indexed it a little bit, 2 degrees per change on it to make it spiral. spiral out at an angle. So,
That's so very cool. I really want one of those.
I can do it on my machine. Now you're not cutting to the center on the outside spirals. You have
I
a
only cut right here.
yeah, but I mean it looks like when it goes to a point, they don't
Talking about
that
here?
point? Well, take a point right there and take it all the way to the edge. All right. You see your outside loops are dropping or raising. They're not pointing on it. It's a unique technique. It's called, in their world, it's called a squirrel cut.
Okay, that's straight out. And what I did with these, I moved it over 2 degrees each time I moved out on it.
Ah, okay.
I intentionally did that. I moved it out and re-indexed it by 2 degrees each time. So I get a movement in that direction.
Yeah, it works. I mean, it all depends on where you position a cutter.
Yep.
To drive
And
it.
on the center, I did 180-degree phase out between cuts. So.
Every pattern you get 2 cuts at least.
Yep.
Huh.
So
Eddie and I went to somebody's shop and they had an ornamental lathe and he started moving it 10 thousandths and all. And I looked at Eddie and I was never so confused. I felt like I shouldn't even have been there.
You did some beautiful work though. You still got your key fob. I got mine.
Oh yeah, I got it as a key ring.
And that was Paul Campo. No, I'm not Paul. Dale Campo.
Yep.
And he's touring the world right now in his retirement. But he is an awesome ornamental turner, but a really good straight carbon tool turner also. That's the couple I went to Waco last year with. An enjoyable trip. Thank you, Trey. That's a beautiful piece of work. Boy, when you put a gloss on that, it's going to be like a diamond.
There's nothing on it. It's just plain.
How long would that take for the ornamental lathe to cut all that design out of that piece?
That's probably
With all
about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I would say no. Yeah, I was going to say 20 when he said it. That's about right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The indexing in here is pretty straightforward and simple. It's just a matter of every time you make a revolution, you rotate. It usually will make about 2 revolutions on a cut as you go back and do it. And I think I moved about 20 thousandths deeper as I went around it. So.
I built my own rig, and I have the plans available if you want to do it. You can probably build the base, the swing head and all for about $100. But then when you start throwing in the patterns and the cross slide, you add a little money to it. But mine's been a toy for just about 20 years, and I really enjoy it when I play with it. And the harder the wood, the nicer it likes. So who else is up? Come on.
We got Jason Collett.
Jason, is he turning wood?
I have been. Always do. So I got just a couple of pins. Oh,
back them up.
This one is, I don't even know what they call it. It's wood, but it's dark. And this one I messed up and got a little too aggressive and chipped out a corner. So I ended up infilling it with leftover acrylic blank.
Wow.
Huh.
So
cool.
Great save.
Yeah.
Good technique.
That is great.
Yeah, it actually turned out pretty good. I took a big old chip out of it. You could see the brass tube. And so I knew I kept all those cutoffs for a reason.
When they blow up, they do blow up.
You redesigned it.
It's a design opportunity.
That's it. I forgot that term. Yes.
Yeah.
Is it cold in your shop, Jason?
I got my little heater going. So
that's a bummer. I got my air conditioning going.
Well, we were getting snow today, so
Oh wow. I'm getting
we have been on and off for the last couple weeks. So
And where are you located?
Monument, Colorado.
All right.
So just north of Colorado Springs.
Y'all need the snow, don't you? I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's been nice, but shoveling
I'm talking about for the melt, for getting water back through the Colorado River and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Were
It's,
you in
uh,
that
every-
band, were you in that band, Jason, that got 3 or 4 feet?
What was that, a week? Yeah, about a week ago.
Yeah.
I don't
about
know.
a
I know
week
I had
ago.
about 4-foot drift across my front porch.
There you
So
go.
it was blowing and blowing. So a lot of shoveling, which is not fun.
Hey, I have to mention here that by request, we have a member, a woman, well, at least 2 right now, that are looking for information on the equipment that JT Tools produced. JT Tools closed when Bill passed away. And they've announced, they published a note that said they were going to sell their company to somebody else to distribute. Who? We're looking for who? Because for those of us who are using the JT Tools and like them, would like to continue on. And maybe you want to get into it. So if you know anything about it, put it in chat. And remember, before you leave tonight, save the chat. It'll always be on our website. Thanks to Dave, who puts just about everything there. All right, what else we got?
I got some stuff if you got a moment.
Hey, Dan,
Hey, Dan.
go.
You talking to me or this is Brad?
That's it. I think we've got through the whole list.
No, not me.
No.
No,
I
just
gotta
Now
put
we
it up
got
and
you,
make a
Dan.
noise.
I'm looking at you, man.
I'm looking at you too. Hi, Eddie, but
Hey,
I didn't
I,
have anything.
But you don't have anything?
No.
Okay,
I was a
Then-
little, I think we got.
we'll go away then.
I got some things in progress.
Well, if you want to know progress, I got to do something to get there, but I went out this week looking for things to do and things to turn.
Well, I'm one of the things I have in progress is I'm making a shave horse to hand carve spoons and ladles and all kinds of things. But I made it so that it folds, and I'm turning these wood pegs that have heads and bodies, and I'm using these wood pegs to go into my shave horse and hold things. I'm making them out of scrap oak I had in the shop. So I'm making tools with my lathe.
Good. All right. That works. I went to Ronnie's house and there's his wood pile that he's been working on lately.
Is that all construction lumber, Ronnie?
Eddie sent me that picture the other day. He can't go down the street and see a pile of 2x4s without taking a picture and ribbing me about it.
Well, speaking of 2x4s, I was at Lowe's down here in the Springs today. $9 for an 8-foot 2x4.
Ridiculous.
Ouch.
Oh,
Used to be $2.
yep.
I had to
Well,
buy
I'm old. They were 36 cents.
You know, one of the other groups I was on, some guy went. One of the other wood turning groups I'm helping with. A guy went to the back of his Lowe's or something and went through their scrap pile, and they gave him basically a truckload of stuff. So that's always an option, I think.
And that, and find the mill shop. If you find some, a cabin shop or a mill shop, go in their scrap box. And to them, they don't waste the time to go pull and cull and all that, because time is dollars. I had one that was right near us that did a lot of exotic work. And I mean, I got some stuff. It still wasn't too big. I can make segments out of it.
I
What
go
else?
back
Brent says he's
back
got
by
a
the
piece.
dumpsters and find the dunnage
Yeah.
that they use on the trucks. And it's just, most of it's just pine out here, but it works pretty good.
Well, when I was going to Delgado Trade School in the 60s, we would go down to the pier and get dunnage. And a lot of it was exotic woods, because the stuff that comes in from overseas, they don't have 2x4 pine 2x4s. They use the what they have, and it worked out great for us. We'd send a pickup down there. That's all they had. Send a pickup down there, and it'd come back on an angle, with a load of lumber.
I got a pile of 4x4 Macassar ebony from that same. They were shipping burls to a veneer company I know, and shipping it in Macassar ebony crates.
Oh wow!
Yeah, To them, it was lumber. That's all
Yeah.
that mattered. It was lumber.
Brent's got a piece to show.
Brent, what you got, bud?
Guys, I'm gonna turn some more of that juniper I showed you the other day.
I like it.
That is sure
Look
pretty
at that
wood.
grain.
I love the grain.
Wow, that's great. Beautiful grain.
This is the cutoff of that one. This one has no finish on it. This is just sanded to 3000 grit. Looks like so. Just,
You said 3,000 grit.
yeah, it's as far as the sandpaper I had, so I just kept going until I ran out of sandpaper. So
Wow.
it was fun. Then I did just a little live edge thing here out of box elder and such. It was cool.
Oh, beauty. Nice feature with the branch coming out the side.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
Beautiful.
I felt lucky to not say that
Oh,
it
yeah.
my apart, so that was kind of a challenge. So
And the bark inclusions on the edge are really nice accent.
I enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. So
Oh, yeah.
that was
Yeah,
Would you?
Brent, you got me driving around neighborhoods looking for juniper trees now.
just send me an email. I'll mail you some. So that's it. That's it tonight. So,
Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it. We have measurements for the wig stands in the chat before you leave now. Dan Roselle says it was closer to 2 o'clock last week before they ended up. Jason is showing us. I had my 15 things here to show. Matt Keebog, you have a piece you say, sir?
Yes, I do. Hi.
Matt, just start talking.
Oh, yeah. It's fine.
Oh, there he is.
How you doing?
All right, we got you now.
All right, fantastic. Yeah, I'm new to word turning. I'm from Portland, Oregon, Mike Keebog, and I just saw Eddie's videos online and just started doing this a few months ago. I got a pretty good wood shop with me, but I made a friend of mine this cane.
That's nice.
Yeah. I've been turning like smaller pieces and stuff like that, trying to do pens. You know, we're doing some acrylic blanks. I just put this one together tonight.
That's
pretty.
Mike, you see that cane you did right there?
Yes.
You did a good job because a piece that long, there was some flexing going on in the center of that. And if you can turn that, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, there was. I actually cut it crooked and had to turn it straight. So
Now, you know, a cane
single
has guys.
piece, Matt? Was that a single piece, Mike, or did you do it segmented on
no,
that
it
cane?
was a single piece. I'm afraid to do anything segmented. I mean, I had to turn a 4-inch maple dowel 5/8 of an inch because I didn't have any dowel. But
Yeah.
I knew about, I was doing wood turning 20 years ago, and I belonged to a club for about 6 months, and they had this exotic wood company that used to sell bandsaw scrap. So I've been going down there and buying, 55-gallon barrel for about $50 and get some really good stuff. So I've been making some laminates. He sometimes has some laminates that are split that he can't use, so I just glue them together for accents.
Mike, what kind of lathe do you have?
It's a Delta. It's a cheesy one. A 46-700. A Delta 46-700.
Okay, you got a pretty good length to that lathe that you're able to turn that piece right there.
Yeah, I was impressed with it. So
You're probably what, 36, 40 inches or so?
Yeah.
On that,
Yeah, about 35. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it down for him. He's
So what's the diameter at the bottom of the cane?
It's about an inch right now, so I
Okay.
got to turn it down to 3/4 to get that rubber stopper on.
You can get inch rubber stoppers because an inch at the bottom will hold 500 pounds, lessening your liability. If you go to 3/4 inch, if you go to a 3/4 inch and it's a weight bearing cane, you're only going to really be able to weight bear maybe 300 or 250. When I make canes, you can use a dowel. It works great because you glue it and all the wood and glue adhere together. One thing I use is I use 5/8 rebar, 5/8 rebar, and I cut it to about 5 inches. So it goes into the shaft 3 inches and into the handle 2 inches, or sometimes 3 and 3, depending how long the handle is. But yeah, very good construction of the cane. Well done.
Okay.
Really nice.
Yeah,
And you know,
I'll
those,
think about it.
those heavy canes are useful because I need a cane to walk around. And if you don't get out of my way, I'm going to hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine that was diagnosed with, he told me it was stiff person's disease. And I was like, what? He says, yeah, it's a rare disease. I said, yeah, I kind of figured because they haven't assigned it an acronym yet. So, you know, but so I told him, I said, you know, I got some scrap wood and I've always wanted to make a cane. So my first one's for him. So that's that. So
That's a nice treat. Thank you.
Awesome.
Pick up your wood at Gilmer.
Yes. Yeah.
One place, isn't it? They have just stuff thrown all over the place.
Yeah, I love it.
This is a wood store that is kind of like the old general store. They just have stuff laying all over the place on shelves, and they used to negotiate with you. You offer them a certain amount of money, and they'll either take it or offer you a different price.
Yeah, yeah. I've been getting some good stuff out of it though. I've got some snakewood pen blanks.
Nice.
You know, I was, you know, for $50, there's a lot of good value in there. A lot of firewood, but you know, I was trying to figure out what to. I've been making pens, so I don't, you know, I'm not going to use up a 55-gallon drum. So I was trying to figure out what to use my longer pieces. Say that again.
Careful with that snakewood. It has a tendency, if it gets too hot, when you're drilling it or sanding it, it'll crack on you, and it won't crack right away. I've had pens that's cracked on me 6 months later.
Okay.
And, so just watch the heat on them when you're doing them.
I do know they're very hard, so.
They're
All
almost
right.
so hard it makes them brittle.
Thank you, Mike. Welcome to the
All right.
club.
Thank you.
And remember, you don't have to pay for this. You get what everybody else in the world gets, but this is free. We're talking wood turning. Now, hey, if you're turning a cane for somebody and you wonder what the length is, you see that little knob on your wrist? You stand at your normal position. Just don't pump down, don't pump up. Just stand where you normally stand, and you measure from that knot to the floor. And that will be the length of your cane for perfect stability. And that's by the orthopedics people. And that's when these adjustable ones come out and may become available. And that's what you do to set that up, is measure from the knob on your wrist to the floor. And that's what works out for you. That was just a tip, because I've turned a lot of canes. And those cane kits, Kate, I'm going to go back to you here, bud. Those cane kits that you talked, I mean, those things you talk about, the dimensions and the strength and all. The kits you buy at Kraft or any of those other places that screw together, they are not made for large. I mean, they're 7/8 of an inch, but you have to take out some load capacity because of the hinging of the connectors and how they go in. They only go in about an inch and a quarter at the most. Might not be enough. So if you're doing a cane for decoration, like if you want to walk around like Bat Masterson, that's fine. But if grandma needs that cane and she's going to put a weight on it to come up a set of steps or get into a chair or whatever, think about the strength of that if you can flex it, you can move it, it's trash. Really just trash. Okay. We're chatting wood journey tonight. What's up, Kate?
Those are great points. One more thing just to add to that. When you measure someone for a cane, that's exactly right. You're at a relaxed, but then when you're using that cane and you have that cane in your hand, and if it's a weight bearing or a balance cane, your elbow to your shoulder should be roughly 30 degrees. And that will be ergonomically correct. If it's too straight, you're going to get shoulder problems, right? If it's too curved and that angle is too acute, you're going to get elbow problems. So that's why you want it to be measured at that nodule. So when you're using a cane, your elbow to your forearm to your bicep is 30 degrees.
Yeah. Good, yeah, because you don't want two sticks. One has to flex. That's why your arms got to flex to do it right.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Kate. Appreciate the input tonight. And remember, we're going to have wig stands as a challenge in April. And then Matt's going to work on spiraling. We have a couple others. These guys all volunteered, and that's what you can do. You can do a demonstration for us, explain something, show something, give us the details on something, get our brains working on something dealing with wood turning. That's why we're here. Anybody else?
I can do a bottom feeder one night.
That'd be nice. Kay, the best demonstration I saw on that type of thing was the guy did a bowl or vase. And then when he went in to hollow it, he cut the side of the bowl off and then ejected the light from where the gouge is at, just a little light. And you could, looking down in the camera, you could actually see what the cutter was doing.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I've got one of those boroscope things that attaches to my phone, and you can run that along your tool. It's got a little light in the end. You know, it's designed for going into pipes and seeing what's in pipes. But it's got a little light and a little camera in the end of this little flexible rod, and you put it on your tool and watch what your tool's doing inside a vase.
Yeah, we have a man in the club I used to belong to, Johnny Barrios, that does a lot of laser engraving, but he's a great turner. And he cut the side off of a piece of a block and then hollowed it. And you could see all the moves as it went down. And it was really, really a nice demonstration. If you can't do it, it's okay, but we're going to give it a try. Anybody else up tonight?
That'd be fun.
By doing so, it's just like turning a high wing live edge bowl where you have more wood air. You still spread the bevel the same.
Or burrow where you got cavities or something.
Yeah, I have a lot of people that don't understand that you can cut when there's air there, but you got to know how to do it. And that's why we're here.
Are you guys, I don't know if you guys remember this demo I did, I don't know, probably 2-3 months ago about where I showed the offset on a natural edge piece, and I used a proprietary tool I made with a ball end mill on it. I don't know if you remember that. I don't have it here right now, but it's got the metalworking bit on the end of it.
Yeah, sort of like what Ellsworth had for a hollowing jig years ago. It's got a carbide or cobalt cutter. He had one that was straight and one on a 45. You take the straight and do the bottom, do your depth, and then you take the 45 and pull cut, taking out the material. That's similar to the two you're talking about, right?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. What I'm using is it's a ball end mill, which is a metalworking drill bit. Okay. And I used it on that demo, and it's really good for getting deep inside something and cleaning out the inside of a bowl or a vase or I use it mostly on goblets. Okay.
It cuts like a scraper?
No, it's cutting. Hang on a second. Let me find the picture. I'll come back to me in a couple minutes. I'll go find the picture and show it.
Interesting. Because we may be talking about apples and oranges here, but we can find out what they are.
Yeah, I'll show it to you. You'll remember it when I show it to you. But it's a cutter that I made. A number of people have made, and it's where is that?
I have several tools made out of machine shop parts, and I get the parts from the MSC Direct is one.
Yep.
And there's a couple other sources.
Amazon sells them too. And basically you just get a ball end mill. It's a piece of round steel. It's been bored out. It's in here somewhere because I show it regularly to people. And maybe not.
We're getting into the late group, folks. We're about 40 people in the audience right now. We're sharing information on wood turning. If you'd like to share, jump in. It's all about you.
And
Really.
he had a couple of things.
All right. You wait a minute. I got to get out of spotlight and then you got to talk. Keep talking.
Right here.
No, you had to keep talking.
John from New Jersey.
John, now I have you, John. I can get over to you. I put you on spotlight. We have some difficulty with somebody we keep getting in and out of, but there you are.
There I am. This is a little ash urn that I made. I don't know.
Nice graining.
It's got nice grain in it. And I made, with the piece that I had left over, the log was too long. So I made a small one. But this one I burned. And you could, all the grain shows on it.
That's nice. A good technique. That really does look good.
Nice.
Just piece of wood, a log I had laying in the backyard.
FOG, found on the ground.
That's it.
All right.
I can't wait for it to dry, so I just turn it green.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I really like turning green wood, so.
I do too. It's so much easier.
Yeah. And it's a technique. You develop a technique for it and a way to handle it when it's done.
You know what? I put it in the microwave, give it a couple of, then I put Danish oil on, two or three coats, and I've had pretty good luck. Some stuff cracks more than others, but it's cheap.
Hey, thank you, sir. Really appreciate your input tonight. All right, are we back to Matt yet?
You know, it's on my phone somewhere. It's not on I'm on my computer right now. It's on my pictures on my phone. I don't know.
We do have next week.
Yep. And I'm sure I posted it to Facebook, so maybe I can find it on Facebook. As near as, by the way, I've been trying to find out what happened to JT Turning Tools, and it appears they just closed the business down and haven't sold it to anybody else. So I think that they're just gone.
That's a shame. Bill really did some beautiful work, came up with a lot of great ideas.
Yeah, Tom Steyer and yeah, his turning was really nice.
Yeah, and he was friendly. If you met him at SWAT or one of the other things, it was like talking to an old friend. No pressure. It was really.
This is what you meant by ball end mills, isn't it?
Wait a minute, we're coming to you. We coming to you. Where are you?
Ball end mills, Trice.
Nope, you got to keep talking. We keep.
Okay.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes, that's
there you go.
Yeah.
The
darker one, second from left, is very similar to the one I use. That one there.
It's a two flute.
Yeah, two flute ball end mill, and the ones I use buy are double sided. They cost like $6 or $7 each, and I've got a piece of cold rolled steel that it fits inside, and you run that along the inside of your goblet or your bowl or whatever, and it's the dark one on your far right now. That one.
Well, these are all exactly the same. They're just different colors.
Yeah,
what do you do with
diameters.
They fit in a milling machine.
Yeah,
that's what they're for. But you're putting a handle on the end and going down and being able to turn inside of the bottom of it.
Yeah, because the flutes are at the right angle to give a shearing cut on the inside of stuff.
Makes sense.
And basically you just ride that bevel and you can get super thin, you can get paper thin, translucent thin on your wood with those. I turn goblets that you can bloody see through. And yeah, I don't use the 4-flute ones like the one on the right. That's dangerous. But
I remember you doing that demo, Matt.
yeah, it was on the. I was turning the natural edge piece that was slightly asymmetric. I offset it a little bit to give an asymmetric lip to it. You know.
Yeah.
And it's on one of our on our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I use that in the bottom and basically what you can do is self-drilling. So you can drill right into the center of your piece, and then you just pull it out. You pull it out and run it up along the side, and you get a nice smooth cut because you're riding the bevel the entire time. Yeah, but I don't do it that way. I'm doing end grain, so you're going in, but just like that.
I understand that.
That's cool.
never thought of that.
And because you're taking really fine cuts and you're riding the bevel, it's a supported cut because you're riding the bevel.
Yep.
And you can get real pretty, a couple inches deep in something, even if your tool rest won't fit in there to give you support because you're taking a really light cut and it's a bevel supported cut.
Yep.
So, but anyway, I could show that too. So
I can just attach that in there and I'm good.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's a handle. It's
Yeah, Spotlight Trey. He's about to do it. You got a piece that you could just you got a piece that you could just chuck up and go digging end grain into it.
Probably. Probably can.
Yeah, it'd take me 20 minutes to get set up in my shop right now to show it. But I think the one, Stephen, I think in answer to your questions, I think that the ones that I'm using are 3/8 inch. And it's called a ball nose end mill.
Somebody made it.
Nose end mill 2 flute.
And you would turn the hole inside of a bowl with that? Or
Well, I wouldn't turn the hole inside. What I do is
just the bottom?
I mean, I use it on goblets, okay? Because you can't get in there with the bowl gouge. It's deep and narrow, okay?
Mhm.
So I just basically have it in a piece of 3/4 inch steel or whatever. In chat, okay. And you can, it's self-drilling. I mean, you could turn the hole inside of a bowl that way. I mean, I use a bowl gouge until I can't get in there anymore. I mean, if I'm doing a normal bowl, I just use my deep fluted bowl gouge. It's just faster. But if I'm turning goblets where I've got to be, 2-3 inches inside a goblet, and I can't get my tool rest in there, then that's my go-to tool. And on that demo that I did for this club, the piece I was doing was fairly small, and because of the natural edge, I was kind of deep. So I was having trouble getting in the bottom of that with my bowl gouge. So I switched to that tool and did it then. Yeah, you'll need to get the tailstock out of the way, Trey. Once you get that.
I know.
Okay, thanks.
I'm trying to find a piece of wood I can do it with.
I just want, Brenda's not with us tonight, but Ronnie, did you catch it? He's got a Band-Aid on.
That had nothing to do with Tommy.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, what happened there?
That's the Brenda Club.
He must have been on the phone with Brenda.
I'm going to share my screen real quick. These are the wooden pegs that I turned for my shave horse.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm real happy. They're 3/4 of an inch, and I'm using Forstner bits to drill 3/4 inch holes, and it's all going together with wooden pegs. And it's kind of an exercise for myself to build something that is just assembled just with wood, made like this, and it's a tool that I can use to make other tools by hand. So anyway.
Nice. Okay. There you go.
Is the cane guy still here?
The cane guy?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I don't know what's going to happen. This is a pretty big size.
Oh, okay. I could just.
I want to take Matt out the picture and
yeah, I can do it. I can do it. Remove my spotlight.
All right, there you go.
Tray. There you go.
Oh.
So
and that's directly into engrain.
The thing is that when you rotate that tool, okay, if you're going straight in and the flutes are up and are vertically up and down, you're going to get a real fine cut. If you roll the tool so that the flutes are more side to side, it'll take a deeper and larger cut. So typically I'll drill in with the flutes up and down.
Well, let me get a hole started and then.
Yeah.
Matt, they also have those end mills with a flat bottom too,
Yeah, I really like it with the ball nose because it's self-drilling and you can get a really smooth cut across the bottom of a goblet or a bowl that way. You're just riding the very tip of that thing, and the flutes are cutting. So and you just you pull it out, you start in the middle and pull it to the outside, or you go from the middle to the outside. And then if you want to take a bigger cut, you
Shavings
just,
off the side of that.
I mean, I'll do it, like I can face something with that. I'll go just right across the top of the face with it. And
You get a better view on it.
you get an even more sheer cut if you're cutting, if your tool rest is below center and you drop your tool handle, so it's raised up into the cut a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yes. It's all in presentation, and when you're doing this cut is actually scraping. But this
It's not a scrape, because look at the direction that flute is giving me a 30-degree angle.
Your flute's the wrong direction. Your flute's the wrong direction.
There you go.
Crossing it.
That's giving me a nice plain cut.
Yeah, and you can just face right across the top of that if you wanted.
just twist it to get the right angle.
Yep. And you can really feel it when the cut's smooth and you're going to get curls, you know, just like you're cutting, you know, like you would expect.
That's that one.
What if it gets dull? Can you sharpen it?
I have never sharpened them. They're $6 each. The ones I get are double-sided, so you get the same thing on the other side. So you turn, when it gets real dull, you just turn it around, and you've got 2 flutes on each side and two ends on each bit. You know, and the ones I buy, they've got a little notch in the middle, so you put a set screw or a grub screw in there.
A good source for this is littlemachineshop.com. Again, littlemachineshop.com. And guess what? You'll find other things at littlemachineshop.com that will work for the rest of your wood turning. And if you're looking for replacement knobs or levers or anything for your lathe, that's where to get it.
It's taking a lot of pressure to get it to drill, but I've got this is a pretty good sized bit anyway, so. This is a 5/8 inch bit, which might be a little bit on the big
Looks bigger
side.
than the ones I've got.
This is a 5/8.
I'll go dig up. I've got.
Let me see if I can get one of
these things. I bought them.
That link is now in the chat. I had a couple of guys throw it in there.
Hey, Trey,
Yeah.
do you have one of those termite tools?
Maybe one way.
What do you call a termite tool?
It's a little round ring on the end.
I got one somewhere. It's downstairs. I'd have to find it.
Yeah.
I have a little J-hook tool too. That's probably a better tool than the termite.
Yeah, that'll give you a good cut what you're doing there.
So
I just put the link to the 3/8 bit that I bought off of Amazon. I put that in chat.
Okay.
So, and it is 3/8. I was correct about that. And you can see the little notch in the middle, and they're HSS. So.
Well, what I did is I went down and grabbed whatever I could, and that so happens to be the only handle that would fit into that, because I didn't see a 3/8 handle that I could shove it into real quick. So.
No, that works. You were able to demonstrate the cut. Thanks, Trey. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, the basic cut, but the smaller tool would be better than trying to use the 5/8.
All right, but look at the cut he made, folks, right in the middle of it. That cut is not torn in grain; it's sliced in grain.
That's right.
And that's what came off of really pretty shavings.
Yeah, you're getting nice shavings, nice curls.
I'm getting nice curves.
And
nice curves off of it. So
I can turn a full-size goblet, you know, like a wine glass size goblet, and I can turn the inside of that thing with that tool and get a smooth cut right from the bottom center all the way out to the edge of that, and do it, you know, 1/16 of an inch thick. And you know, if you're very gentle with your cuts, you're riding the bevel the whole way, and it's a nice slicing cut, and almost no sanding. You know, you don't even have to do sanding usually. So.
Now, this is what a gentleman asked about the cutting the bottom of the bowls. This is a great way to shape that up also. You're just going to have to develop a technique. And
No, it cuts the wrong way.
to do a bowl?
Yeah, it cuts uphill. This is in grain.
Yeah. So that would, the bowl would be side grain.
The cutter is cut, the spiral on the cutter, it will cut the in grain, but it will not cut the other grain because you'll be cutting into the grain, into the fibers backwards.
Yeah. Now, you guys will remember that the bowl that I did in that demo that I did where I used this tool, it was also an end grain bowl. So I was cutting end grain at the bottom of that thing, that natural edge piece that I was cutting, which is why I could use that tool effectively.
Yeah, that's what I'm sorry to add to the confusion. I was thinking the end grain. I love turning bowls in end grain because the side grain is so unique.
Yeah, and especially like pieces like box elder and stuff where you get some interesting color.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much, Trey. I really appreciate you jumping in and showing that.
Hey, I learned something. I'm learning what I can do with it. Now, you're turning this on the tool rest. You have the round part on the tool rest, or are you putting the bit on the tool rest?
No, I am not putting the bit on the tool rest.
So your handle comes back further to so it's.
Yes. I'm quite a ways, and you have a great. I put a good long handle on the thing, so I've got quite a bit of leverage. So it's not going to jump off on me. So you know, and I try to keep it in the upper quadrant of that piece that I'm cutting. I don't want to drop below center. Okay. So I'm a little bit below center on the tool rest, and my handle's dropped a little bit. So the tool is in the upper left quarter of that piece of wood the whole time. If that makes sense.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to make another holder that's gonna be won't be as thick as this is. This is pretty thick. This is 1 inch material.
Yeah. So get I think that on my 3/8 bit, I'm using a 3/4 inch steel.
Okay. Well, this is 1 inch aluminum for a handle. It's a handle, tool handle.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you hold it with. I mean, you don't want to bend it, of course, but yeah.
My tool, this is this is a tool handle that I take my little scraping tool out of it. So.
Yeah, but I think my wood handle, I probably have 8 inches of steel outside of the handle before I get to the tool. And then I think my wood handle on that is 2 feet long.
Watch the streamers. Watch the streamers. Look at that. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, and you can either cut like he's cutting, where you're starting in the center and going to the corner, or let's say you want to do a super thin-walled goblet, and you start at the top of that cut and cut from where the hole is to the rim and work your way down. So you don't have to start at the exact center. You just start at the rim and cut to the edge. So Trey, try that. Just start there and cut to the end. No, start up top. I'll show it next week. And start there and cut to the edge, to the rim. That's okay.
Good night to Paul Hannaby. He's calling the evening or an early morning where he's at.
Good night, Paul.
I think it's bedtime for me.
Thanks for all your help.
Thank you, Paul.
Gallery. You did an excellent job.
Thanks. I'll see you next time. Take care.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks,
Paul. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks. Bye.
But I can show that what Trey showed tonight. I can show that next week if y'all want to see it.
Well, I definitely are going to have to drop to a smaller diameter steel and put a handle on it.
Yeah, with a longer handle, you have more leverage. So in case it starts to get away from you a little bit inside there because you're unsupported for quite a ways, you've got control. You've got leverage that you can manage it.
Well, I have very little. This is too short. This is only 10 inch. So.
Yeah, and you can feel it start to pull a little bit, start to jump because you don't have enough.
But I can see by rotating it, I can see the different cut. I've got a beautiful cut on this outside, on this edge here.
Yeah,
really beautiful.
It's really, you don't even need to sand it. It's that fine a cut.
Yeah, really a beautiful cut.
One of the things I like to do in my goblets, I don't have one handy here. One of the things I like to do in my goblets is I like to go into the stem. So I'm building a little feature where the shaft hits the bowl. Okay. and it's a little thicker than normal up here, where my thumb and finger are up here. And if you do it right, you can use that tool to turn the inside so you're down inside this piece, this part here. So if somebody takes a look at that goblet and they're looking at it and thinking that this is all the big it is, this is all how big it is, and they look inside and it's deeper than they expect. So it's a kind of an optical illusion effect on the goblets too, and people do seem to really like that, or at least I do.
Yeah.
So, but that tool will let you get really fine control on the inside of things like that. And it's really great for covering that transition across the bottom of something that's deep inside, a bowl like that gentleman was showing earlier, and then making that transition to the outer wall. And then
all right, y'all, I'm calling it a night.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Later.
Hi, Ronnie.
Bye, Ronnie.
Hi,
Bye,
Ronnie.
Ronnie. I'm headed out too.
Yeah,
Hey,
I've got to head out too.
Ronnie, I'm going out with my gun for that wood pile. Don't go by that
Good
wood
night,
pile.
all.
Thank Matt.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks, Cade. This
Thank
great
you,
meeting.
Matt.
Thank you,
Trey,
folks.
great
Just been-
demonstration. I learned a bunch.
Thanks,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
I'm trying to find something here to turn off the, there we go. That's one. Trey's in there. Trey, you gonna stay on as host?
No, I'm out of my shop. I'm gonna call it a night, I think.
Well, I am too. It's been almost 4 hours.
If